going on, people? It is Saturday night and next podcast is live. Guys, we have a great show lined up for you today. Huge shout out to everybody in the chat. What is going on? All the people, especially like Sleepy Goblin, who's usually first. I believe he was first in the chat today. Yo, huge shout out to everybody who supports the channel and definitely supports this show. Guys, as you can see, I kind of changed things up a little bit, little smoother transitions or whatnot. I hope you guys enjoy the show both visually as well as like the opinions and all the gaming news topics that we talk about. Before we get into the introductions, I would like to ask if you could slap that thumbs up button, share this out on Twitter, on Facebook, on Twitter.
Now who's in the back of a pickup with a flag?
Twitter. Yeah, just because YouTube doesn't like to do its job, so that's what we got to do, guys. And I feel it can be done. I feel it's possible. I'm feeling good. But guys, let's get into the introductions, and I'm gonna introduce first one of the most opinionated gaming YouTubers out there that I have seen. I love talking games with him, man. He is solid. Okay. All right. He is solid as a rock when it comes to what he thinks. Knoxximus!
Yo, what's good, everybody?
What's up,
Chilling,
brother?
Man. It's gonna be a great show, man. It's gonna be awesome. Got Pred, Mega, the Don, the Bot. Let's go. Let's get it.
Let's do this. All right, and let's go. Next on the list, he is an all-star here on Next Podcast, part of the starting lineup. People might ask him to sub in on other teams, but he is here every Saturday. Predator!
Yo, what's going on, everybody? Happy to be here. Another week, another Saturday, some awesome gameplay, some good topics, and a great crew, with the exception of that K-Mega guy. But we'll give him a pass.
And a can of Diet Dr. Pepper, right, brother?
No, I'm not doing it.
Oh, damn it. I tried to, man. All right, and next on the list, coming live from the 405, and he's just trying to talk to the intelligent gamers out there. My brother, K-Mega!
Listen, if the day that K-Mega left Next Podcast and Pred was taking my place, I think we would have some problems here. Understand who's the real vet here, who holds it down.
Yeah, listen, because I'm on my own person.
Anyway, what's going on, everybody? K-Mega is here. Got my crown, so we already know it's about to go down.
That's a warning sign right there. Got my crown.
It's the warning sign. But yeah, just wanted to say, man, thanks for everybody for watching the GRG last night. It was so lit. It was probably the littest that we've ever been, especially with that first topic. So yeah, man, just glad to be here as usual, and man, let's just get it popping.
Nice, brother. And next on the list, we are welcoming him back home. Guys, those lights are flickering in your house because it's time to stand up, show that respect, kiss that ring, the Don!
Hey guys, I know it's been a while, but I had to step up my gaming game up and get myself a new mini fridge with good old Han Solo on it. It's wrapped in carbonite, and I also have a new gaming chair stacked with alligator leather now. So I'm good to go. Let's do this.
You have Han Solo on your mini fridge, is what you're saying?
Yes, frozen carbonite.
Like, is that the doors part of it? Like,
that's the door part. Yeah.
Oh, dude, is that in like a man cave you have or something then?
Well, we're gonna buy a new house, so it's gonna go in the man cave, and then I got. My gaming chair has been redone in alligator leather, so it's
I don't know why I asked this question,
alligator leather.
Not just leather.
You wear assless chaps, so I mean, I guess.
No. Don't be confused with Bot. Don't be getting confused with Bot. He's the cowboy background.
Okay.
Yo, if you want some rough skin, man, I rub K-Mega's feet on your ass and make it feel like the alligator skin for you.
Somebody needs to timestamp that right there, brother.
This is the thing right here, man.
Butt beat, foot job.
You know what?
No.
Feet as smooth as a baby's bottom, baby. That's what you got to do.
Gosh.
Yes.
Well, all right, I'll let you guys have your lotion time, but let's get going on the podcast.
Yo, check this out, guys. Before we get into the topics, I do have a special gaming announcement. If you
You're
guys
pregnant.
a gaming
Okay.
announcement, I'm pregnant.
I'm
Like
just saying,
how is that a gaming? Dude, I don't even know where you're coming from anymore.
I don't know.
The game of life.
The
Yeah.
gaming life.
Anybody who follows me on the other podcasts I'm on a couple other ones as well. You guys know, when it comes to Division 2, I've been interested in playing it, but don't really have the funds, all that good stuff. And I was sitting there watching my friends list, and I was seeing how many people were playing it. And shout out to my brother right here on the panel. Shout out to Knoxximus for hooking me up with a code, and I will be able to play Division 2. Thank you.
Nice. That's awesome. Really good.
Oh,
Really
no,
nice,
that's a
Knox.
poor investment because he's going to go back to Destiny. He's going to go back to Destiny 2 and drop it like a habit.
He asked me a message. Are you really interested? Like, and I heard the Destiny in the background. Like, are you really interested in playing this game? I'll get it for you. Yo, but Knox, just to let you know, man, brothers look out for each other. So the next time they're down the road, there's a game, and you got interest in, just let me know, and we'll see what we can do about hooking you up as well, man.
Nah, man, no worries, bro.
Nice.
Get that gaming in, kid.
Nice.
Ain't nothing, bro.
The community looking out for each other as usual. But guys, let's go into the gameplay and let's talk about the topics. And I'm going to throw a curveball in right off the bat. Sony has announced that this year, when it comes to their kind of like partnership with GameStop, their business relationship with GameStop, that they are not going to allow them to sell any more digital codes of video games for their PS4 platform. They said that they still can sell like the cards for the PlayStation Network, can still sell codes like that, but starting at I think it's pretty soon. Like but definitely this year they are stopping GameStop from selling digital codes for games. Now, I'm gonna go to you, Knox. Knox, I gotta ask, when this was announced, do you think this is more a hint at what Sony's doing to move forward? Or do you think this is more of a hint as to how bad GameStop has really gotten in terms of being a retailer in the gaming industry, man?
I mean, it's a mix of both, right? It's a little bit of both, bro, because, Sony stops them from selling them codes, you know what I mean? And that's gonna fuck up GameStop a little bit, right? But also people gonna buy more codes directly, like they do right off the Sony, right off the console, right off the PlayStation.
Yeah. So
or go to Amazon and get a code that way, and just not through GameStop. So I mean, I don't know. What did GameStop and Sony have some sort of falling out? I don't know.
We don't know. It's just basically it came out stating that I forgot the exact date. My apologies, guys. I don't have the link up in my wall of tabs on my computer. But basically stating and kind of like Sony stating, well, you can still pick up the games digitally through the PlayStation Store, people.
Yeah, of course. That's the move. That's what they are gonna want. That's what Microsoft wants you to buy from the Microsoft store. They want you to buy from the Sony store.
Oh hell yeah!
If they could have it like that you can only consume it that way, they would, bro.
Oh yeah, definitely.
You know what I mean? Either go get the physical media or order the physical media or buy it digitally directly from us if preferred. You know what I mean? I'm surprised they don't stop selling codes from everywhere. That's what I'm saying. Since they're not stopping it everywhere, it leads me to believe like they just
they're stopping it everywhere. They're stopping.
They're going everywhere with it.
It's everywhere. It's done.
Oh, I see. That makes sense now because now you got to get it from them only. All right.
Holy
cool. That's what I was trying to figure out.
All right, because like the last I heard of it was only GameStop, so that means like Best Buy,
It leaked from GameStop.
Oh,
so
okay.
That's how all that happened. So
yeah.
See, I love it when the panel, brings me up to speed on the topics here. It's always good, trust me.
And we don't even read the topics. That's the weird thing.
Yeah, that's the weird thing. So, well, Don, what do you think about this? So this is obviously, kind of like Sony's decision. Is this a sign of like what's going down with Sony, like for the future, in your opinion?
Well, I think it's telling. I think, and then even that works at one of the stores, please clarify, but I do believe when they sell digital codes, those retail outlets got a piece of that money.
Yeah.
In regards to that. now by cutting them out, it's all going to basically divided between the publisher, say Sony, and in the developer and what they have to divvy up on their side. So, realistically, it's cutting out that middleman in regards to that situation. Two, Sony's have had this challenge for quite a while, is getting people to commit their credit card on their system.
It's like a way to do it, though.
They just kind of have to grandfather them in somehow, right?
Mm-hmm.
I've said this before, on certain consoles, digital sales are much higher than, say, Sony's console. Doesn't mean Sony didn't sell more or anything like that. Don't take that out of context or anything like that. But just in general, the percentage of what, say, Microsoft sells, say, a particular third-party game, the majority of them are digital in a lot of cases. Mm. And on the Sony side, the percentage is swapped around a little bit. Let's say they sell equal amounts. The Sony side would sell more physical than digital. So, there's definitely a drive to go digital, not because of the cost or anything like that, but just want to have more money go into the developers. They want people to stop trading in used copies. That's ultimately the end goal for everything, and which also allows them to be competitive and have more competitive prices on their store. So, I mean, there's benefits to it as well. So.
Yeah, my whole thing is, like, when you're looking at this, like, there was a report in the UK about digital sales, all right, when it comes to video games. It was up over 80% of the software revenue, which means,
so you think trying to phase out physical?
My whole thing, I think physical is naturally going to phase down to a minimal percentage. But I'm looking at this and I'm like, well, if digital is up that high, right? And if people don't trust using their credit card on the PlayStation Network, where are they going to go to get digital codes and stuff like that? Because they won't be able to do it in the stores anymore. Like, how does Best Buy and all them feel about this?
They can still get credit, is what it boils down to. In regards to that, so they can still get PlayStation gift cards for credit on their service, and that's both on all store outlets. That's still a thing, and that's actually the number one selling thing for if you go to Amazon. Mm-hmm. On the PlayStation side of things, everyone wants those PlayStation space bucks, right? So they can spend on their online store. I mean, that's what it boils down to.
Well, huge shout out to Sir X-Man hitting that super chat early, supporting the show, supporting the channel. I appreciate it, man. He says Xbox should go, there's a code for you, like Sony did. Now, at first I thought he's talking about maybe the whole Don Matrick thing. Oh, there's a console for you. It's called Xbox 360. I'm not sure how I'm gonna take that. And huge shout out to Lemon in the chat. What is up, my brother? What's good, guys? Sony is cutting off the middleman. Runaway Dragons TV in the building, and this is the direction gaming is going, brother. That's kind of like my question, because now Best Buy, GameStop, any other secondary place that you would pick up a code, they're basically cutting that head off right there. You won't be able to do it. You have to go through PlayStation Network, which is I don't know. It's kind of crazy. Yo, Mega, what do you think about this, man?
I just thought it to be ironic. I mean, it's really, really funny, because the one company that has given Sony so much praise and helped Sony propel themselves, and help propel Sony to get to where they are this generation, they're just kind of you know what I'm saying? Well, we're going another direction. So the breakup is real. This is just kind of the beginning of the end for GameStop. And it's just going into a whole nother realm of where digital is when in 2013, it was all about, the copied disc and how that was, you could trade it with, you could just lend somebody else your disc. And now it seems like when Xbox got ridiculed for it, now it seems like everybody's on board for it. Again, Xbox innovating, trying to change the game, and Sony's over here doing it late, but Sony's not getting that
Dude,
energy like
is it necessarily late though? Because if you look at it, there was huge backlash when Xbox in 2013.
Yeah, they did.
I think Xbox was too early, brother.
No, Xbox was just doing it the right way because they knew where their direction was going.
Mm-hmm.
Sony knew where their direction was, but again, they had the best marketing. And they used it and they ran with it. And
they had that guerrilla marketing, brother.
Right. Yeah. And so what was the crazy thing about it was that the main people that were starting this whole keeping your physical games was PC guys who hasn't really had physical games since 2007. You know what I'm saying?
And even when they had physical, I was listening to I like to watch Review Tech from time to time for humor's sake, and he was like, because he was talking about his PC setup and what he realized about buying games on Steam digitally, and he's like, I bought a physical copy of Fear 2 way back in the day. Fear 2. And he couldn't let anybody borrow that game from the PC because there was DRM that hooked that game, that physical form of that game, to his PC. So there was DRM and everything like that on PC for a long time, and this stuff people were complaining about on console.
Exactly, and that's the thing. That's why I was every time that I seen a PC guy come out and make a video and talk about how this is that, and I'm like, why are you promoting Steam then? Why are you promoting?
No, for real.
And I mean, like, yeah, why are you not promoting GOG, or whatever that thing was called? That little
it's still around.
Yeah, I know it's still around, but it's actually dropped some people from their site. So again, look, this is just Sony is just doing what the market is basically doing. It's showing that more people are buying more digital. They feel more comfortable behind it. And it's just like what somebody alluded to earlier was that, hey, look, we have to start having more people feeling trust into our PSN network so they can start putting their credit card information in there.
So they're going to force them to do it?
Well, it's not really a force because you still have an option to where you can buy those gift cards from the stores, but they are just basically like, look, cutting out the middleman. There is no
Green Dot about to get even richer now, man.
Right, that's just the reality now, and that also, like Don said, benefits gamers down the line because you get more sales, you get more deals. I mean, I think I said this last week. I don't think I've ever seen in the history of gaming where I've seen so many deals with games ever. I mean, like right now, there's a publishing deal for
like the digital deals,
there's two different types of deals. There's just the regular Xbox deals for if you're a Xbox Live subscriber, and then there's the critically acclaimed deals. And you know what? Tekken 7 is on that list. I just want to let you know.
Yeah, because it's just going by history. The history.
Anyway. So again, it's just like that. And then on PlayStation, they have theirs, and it's just really cool because they're enticing you to buy these games digitally because it brings more revenue towards, like Don said, the developers into the publisher. So
there's also another thing too, anyone that buys digitally knows that hey, it's just easy. I just go on there. Right. Tell them what I want, and boom. You're removing that barrier where the customer can start going, maybe I don't want this product, right? Because when you go into the store, you have a lot to, Yo,
Don, hold on 1 quick second. I don't want it to fade away. Yo, Sir X-Man, definitely, he was gracious enough to hit up the super chat one more time. He just says, Xbot, you don't remember the disc in 2013? Oh, this is how we trade games? Like that whole thing? Yeah, dude, I remember that. But go ahead, Don.
But what it comes right down to is like anytime more time there is from the thought of, hey, I want to pick up that thing to actually getting that thing, it leaves an opportunity for the customer to second guess. And that's what it comes right down to. Like if you're going down to GameStop, you're like, maybe I'm going to stop by Chick-fil-A on the way. Wait, I got to go pick up some stuff at the grocery store. And then, oh, wait, I was going to buy a game. Maybe I don't have the money for that now, right? And you have that time to think twice about it. When it's just on the store, it's just right there. You click on it, and next thing you know, it's already done.
Yeah, but Don, you also got to think about it. There is a certain stigma with the PlayStation Store, and I don't.
We know that. I mean, we know why. I mean, but
well, I don't know how I feel about them kind of like pushing it forward that way to be like, well,
they're gonna have to do it though, but I mean that's for them to get people to subscribe. They're only at like 36 to 40 million subscribers for PSN, and they have 100 million, almost 100 million consoles out there. That is not a good look. It's just not. I mean, the competition is killing them. They're at like 60 million. They're like 60 million, and then they're going to increase it by their vision. Again, PlayStation is looking at PlayStation is now looking at the future because they see that look what Xbox was trying to do. It wasn't really popular in the beginning. They did.
Dude, they knew it was going that way,
but they knew that it was going that way.
They knew it was going that way,
right.
And like
that's what it is. And so now everybody will be willing to accept that because most gamers out there will jump on it. The one thing about it, what Don said is, which is absolutely the truth. I used to be more reluctant to go into GameStop, and I would go and look, and I'm like, all right, man, I may want to get 2 games, but then I'm looking at it, and I'm like, you know what? No, man, this I want to get this used game. I've been looking at it, but man, it's like still $50. I'm not going to spend that, so I'll just get this one particular game, and then when I look at that, I'll second guess myself, and then I'll just pick up a game that's like $30, and then didn't come out with anything that I was anticipating. Now I got this whole mindset mentality, like I'm ready to risk it all, Jack. I start doing all these sales, and I'm like, man, I really want to do this. I shouldn't, but I just do it. So I mean, it's.
Oh, and they love that. They love that, man.
That is in place.
Hell yeah, they love it.
And before you go to prayer, I just want to say this part. The gifting thing is probably going to be the most problematic out of all of this, and that's what makes me think the PlayStation is going to start their own gifting with their everything else that they're doing as well, because
you can't gift right now, right?
Right. You just can't do that now. Yeah. So
that was a question in the chat. So whoever asked that question, I'm sorry, I don't remember who it was, but there's your answer. There is no game gifting digitally right now on PlayStation. But yo, Predator, what do you think about this news? I know you get into a lot of the business side of things, and I'm looking at it like basically Sony is giving a big middle finger to Best Buy, to GameStop, to any place that would sell a digital like code for their game, and I'm like, dude, they're like getting away with that, no problem.
My first thought was, is this affecting Amazon as well? I didn't look into this.
Yeah, they're doing this for all retail.
Because like I typically buy codes, like when I do giveaways and stuff like that, I buy them through Amazon, and then I just post them in there. But we can still do that with Xbox. But like that takes away that. So basically, you have to have a PlayStation account in order to digitally buy games, and so they're locking it down to making you go to their store. And like you were saying a while ago, Mega, they knew this was coming. They knew this in 2013 it was coming. That's why they pushed it off of it so quickly. When Microsoft did it, they kind of jumped into hold on, the car driving by. They kind of jumped in on that narrative and like, oh, we could switch games this way. They knew it was coming, but I don't think they were ready for it yet. And that's why they, pushed it the way they did, in my opinion. And for GameStop and even Amazon, but I think it's going to really affect more GameStop than anything. I don't really buy digital codes, like walk into the store and buy it like that anymore. If I do buy a digital code,
I buy Microsoft money that way.
Yeah. I typically buy it from Amazon. Like if I buy a code, if I buy a game, I buy it from the store from Xbox. If I get a code for somebody else, I typically buy it from Amazon or something like that, so I can get those digits to hand out to somebody else. But I mean, for the whole scheme of things, like most of us are kind of switching over to the digital side anyway.
Yo, Peter, this is kind of crazy news, though. You got to admit, to hear like a gaming company just be like, "Well, that's it for any of our other partnerships with selling digital codes. We're done with all that."
I think the bigger surprise to me is that how they took it in the beginning of the generation with the DRM and stuff like that, their stance on it then, and now how they've done a 180. It's just taking them a lot longer to do it than they did Microsoft.
Yeah, they just weren't ready. That's why they marketed it that way, because they knew they couldn't do it all at that point in time, and it was successful. I mean, let's be real. That was definitely successful. Huge shout out to Lemon hitting up that super chat again. He says, no diss to make no covers with art, no shipping to stores, which makes it cheaper. Now we can get sales because there is money being saved, so we can save now. Now, see, the whole thing is with that.
Damn, Lemon must have got paid Friday.
Yeah. Well, with that, we're talking about the digital codes. There's nothing about the physical games. I think the physical games are still going to be at like your local Best Buy, Walmart, Target, all that good stuff.
Will be the physical,
unless the retailer chooses to screw Sony back and be like, you know what, we ain't gonna carry your physical.
They're gonna lose money that way, brother.
Yeah, they are gonna do that.
They're not gonna like shoot themselves in the foot just out of spite. That would be horrible, man.
Well, wait, let me finish what I was gonna say before y'all move on. I like how they kind of threw this in under their other topic that we're gonna get into about their little announcement coming up on the 25th. You know, they came out like around the same day. We're gonna have this show, and then they slide this in underneath
on the sneak tip, real quick. Well,
they didn't officially announce it, but the information kind of came out a little bit later. So, I think I was kind of smooth. But go ahead. I think you guys are talking about something else. Sorry.
It's all good. I want to shout out Sir X-Man hitting up the super chat one more time. The wish list is the best thing on Xbox because it notifies when a game goes on sale. I love that. Yeah, brother. That it was a long time coming too, man. But
I didn't know it does that.
Yeah, no, it does that, and
nigga, because you don't wait.
Yeah, no, you don't, brother.
I don't wait. Look, man, I'm not. I can't risk it all for that one game. The game everybody's liking right now. The
Division
the game.
Huh?
The Sarinko. How do you pronounce it?
Oh, Sekiro.
Shadows Die Twice.
Yeah. I can't do that, man. I just can't.
I mean, the gameplay looked good.
Mm-hmm.
Buy it on Steam. Play it on PC. You get like 10 hours to play it, and if you don't like it, you get your refund. There you go.
Oh,
that's right.
Oh,
they give you 10. I thought they gave you up to 2 hours.
Hey, I just rather
either way. I mean, like
2 hours on that.
Try it, and if you don't like it, just fucking get no.
I'd rather somebody I'd rather Kamooch it, man. I'd rather get a hook.
K-mooching, huh?
K-mooching, yeah.
We need T-shirts now. K-mooching, man. You got to get it out there.
Anybody feels sorry for K Mega, man? Just go and hook a man up, man.
Don, you heard that? K Mega himself said Mega Man. All right, it wasn't me this time. Okay.
Oh, I thought you said K Mega himself feel sorry for him. No, I don't feel sorry for him.
I said,
Well, guys, we're gonna move on to the next topic. Before I do so, I'm gonna take this time to do the regular YouTube podcasting thing, guys. If you haven't done it yet, slap that thumbs up button. Share this out on either Twitter, not Twitter, Twitter or Facebook. Let other gamers know the type of show that's going on right now, the production value, the opinions. Let's get a bunch more people in here. But we're moving on, and we're still going to stay with Sony because Sony announced that they are going to do their own Inside Xbox. Yeah, guys, they're going to do their own show where they're going to come out and do announcements for software, new gameplay trailers, stuff like that. And guys, it is 2 days from now. I haven't talked to the panel yet, but I wanted to see if you guys were down to live stream because I got the day off. But we'll talk about that later. Guys, what do you think about this? You know, they're skipping E3. I believe they're going to have their PlayStation experience. And then they're coming out with that kind of like monthly show, the way, you know, Xbox does, the way even Nintendo Switch does with their Direct. What do you guys think about this? Let's go Predator, man. What's good with Sony's quote unquote Inside Xbox? I forgot what it's called.
I don't remember either, but just another show. I think with them not going to E3 this year, this gives them a little opportunity to get some exposure to what they're doing going forward for the next basically year between now and next E3. So they're doing a monthly show, just like Xbox, Inside Xbox.
I believe
it's a one-time deal.
No, I believe
it's not. It's not going to be monthly, but it will be a
randomly like a direct.
Yeah, it's like episode 1 is in like 2 days. So.
And you know, I mean, I'm surprised they haven't done this already, to be honest with you. And you know, especially with the games they've had this last generation. I mean, I'm sorry, this last year, the bangers they've had dropped. It's like, you know, they don't really. To me, and maybe I'm just following the wrong people on Twitter. But like their activity in social media, like there's not like one person. Like we have Larry, we have, you know, we got the show we have and stuff like that. Like I don't see that from the PlayStation side. They only come to like the major shows and the major events, but like you don't have a face that goes with that. Like we have multiple people on the Xbox side. I don't know the faces of Sony anymore because they've all moved on.
It's going to be a chance for them to start with new ones, though, right?
Exactly, and the thing is, like, they didn't do that before. Maybe with this new regime, they're thinking about doing that now. Not saying that Microsoft is successful at it, but they see that, you know, other people are doing it, and with them not having anything coming out, at least announced anyway, between now and next E3, major anyway, like this gives them an opportunity to give themselves some news, to put themselves in the media and be a little bit more relevant. The thing is, like, you know how Sony, they typically show shit a lot really early. Mm-hmm. I'm interested in see what they're gonna show.
They're gonna show PlayStation 6 already, man. They're gonna be like 20 years down the line. Here we go.
And the other good thing is it drives competition, because if it's a really good show, you know, Microsoft can say like, maybe we should do that, because like all the shit that we say is wrong with Inside Xbox, if Sony gets it right, maybe they'll listen to us for a change. They're like, oh, maybe we'll take that stance, because they see that the community, the gaming community, is kind of hyped for what Sony showed, and really not into what the fuck Microsoft's been showing the last couple of iterations.
Well, I've enjoyed Inside Xbox, but let's be real here. Like anything Sony drops, it's a golden egg to people out there, no matter what. Like, you know what I'm saying? So people are automatically going to be like, it's better. My whole thing now, Predator.
That's not necessarily.
Dude, no, come on, look at their E3s in the past couple of years, man.
You know, the E3 that was terrible with the fucking orchestra. Everybody, whoever didn't say that shit wasn't terrible, it was a terrible E3 for
you better look at Twitter,
but everybody else on Twitter, swear to God, it was the best one.
The showings, the game showings were good. That's all. That's all it was. But the performance and all that shit was whack. As a show, it was whack.
They said it was a grade A, bro. I'm just letting you know. I mean,
I don't know. That shit is crazy.
But my whole thing, guys.
This state of play shit that they doing, that's what it's called, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I mean, whatever. Look,
state of play. Thank you, bro.
They're gonna show some VR shit, maybe the same games that we know are coming, and talk some shit. They're not gonna show no next gen.
I heard there's a possible. PS5. No, I'm not saying next gen, but I heard there's a possible. Kind of like a AA second party exclusive that they're going to unveil at the show.
That'll be cool.
You know,
let's see what they're going to do.
But my whole thing, and Knox, you know, my whole thing is, when it comes down to it, people like kind of make fun of the Nintendo Direct. You hear a lot of people make fun of Inside Xbox. I feel like these people might be wearing a little egg on their face, because it has to be working to some extent if the third company in all that looks back at it and it's like, damn, we got to do one of those as well. You see what I'm saying?
Because they probably feel they have to, like, all right, you know, everybody's doing it, so let's just do it, and hopefully it's not as terrible as Inside Xbox. I mean, but they tend to be, though, so it is what it. You know, we'll see what happens. Right on the 25th, we'll check it out, see if it sucks ass, see if it's any good. I don't know, man, but those shits tend to be whack. Unless you got some good information. You know what I mean? That's all.
I got you. Well, Don, State of Play, Sony's show, episode 1 in a couple days. Dude, I know we've actually checked out a couple Inside Xboxes together. I have gone on record. I feel like people kind of expected too much from these shows from the beginning. I think you were kind of in the same boat with me at least one point in time. What do you think about Sony throwing their hat in the ring? Is it going to be do you think it's going to be any better? And do you think like this kind of like gives more credibility to Inside Xbox and Nintendo Direct? Because people were making fun of them, but obviously they must make some type of mark if the other company's like, man, we got to do that too.
Well, yeah, I mean, definitely if they start off the thing with Sackboy puppets, kind of like how Nintendo did the whole puppet thing, then you know they're trying to copy. But
let's do it.
But no, I mean, all joking aside, I mean, yeah, I mean, you have to reach your audience at some point in time, right? And things are evolving, and like we talked about earlier, when you can advertise on Google, but how do you reach your customers directly sometimes? And they went into the social media side of things. I still don't understand all of social media, how that really affects business. but it does. That's definitely a thing. So this is their means to reach out directly in regards to that, have a face to where they have more of a public space that people can interact with. And I think it's a good thing. I think it's a good thing for PlayStation gamers, to be totally honest with you. Because what happens is in the world of, YouTube and Twitter and stuff like that, it allows you to control the narrative of what your product is. Instead of having people put a bunch of misinformation out there, it has a reference that people can go to what's really going on with Sony. And that's the same thing. Ultimately, at the end of the day, is, even though we make fun of, the Xbox show and we've made fun of Nintendo's show in the past, they do serve a purpose, which is reaching out to their customers and letting them know what's going on. So it is a good thing. And honestly, I think the competition is going to drive it well. And I think Sony probably will, I hate to say this, but they'll probably do it the best out of all of them, because they do have that background in film. They kind of understand.
Oh, wow.
They understand that better than anybody.
They got some Sony movie producers coming in. It's like, we know what we're doing here. Clear the way.
They can come out there and do some
shit too. Actors, like B-level talent, but like people that are actually talented in that space.
Oh, what you trying to say, bro? No. I heard in that space.
You know what I'm talking about. Like, for example, I'm a gorgeous looking man, but I'm still no actor, right? Like, you can't put me in front of a camera and expect people to be interested.
No, he's a bicycle model, by the way.
Yeah. but you kind of get where I'm going.
Don was a foot model.
Oh no, they left that up to you, K Mega.
No, yeah, K Mega's the one that takes care of his feet.
You take overly good care of your feet, brother.
Man, I got you. I'm always in work.
But I mean, you guys get it. Like, they can get a producer. Hey, what are you doing on your lunch break? I just want you to, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Knock up a couple ideas, and then they can put together something. And and it's not going to be perfect at the beginning, but I think it's going to be a little bit more. They'll get a lot of things where I think Microsoft's still learning, and I think, honestly, in a lot of ways, Nintendo's still learning. So
nice. And huge shout out to Face23 Brooklyn, New York. Basically stating Demon Souls Remastered, Concrete Genie release date, Dreams release date, and hopefully a release date for The Last of Us 2. That's what you're looking for. I gotta say, Face, I think Concrete Genie, what I've seen from gameplay of that looks like fire. That is a game I would definitely look into. But we're gonna have to see. It's only 2 days from now, right? So, I don't know. I think it's good that all three are doing something like this. It kind of, we get excited for shows like throughout the year, and while getting excited for like the E3s and stuff like that as well. I don't know. I'm looking forward to it, and hopefully I could get a couple guys on this panel. Might be able to do a live stream, get our live reactions going for what is it? State of Play? The name of it? State of Play? Anybody? All right. Thank you.
Well, I mean, I could if it's according to what day it is.
Yeah, that's the name.
That's the thing of it. Hold on, let me look.
Right.
That's a Monday. That's not happening.
That's not happening.
Like, I'll be working.
All right. Well, me and Don will go solo like we did before.
What is it, Monday?
Yeah. No, I'm just playing. I'm just playing, man. Calm down. We're going to the next
man, I
topic
got
anyway.
I got to get an interview my replacement.
What?
At work, yeah. I'm trying to do a smooth transition with the studio.
If he comes in with a mustache, he's hired right off the bat.
Pretty much, yeah.
Okay.
That's pretty much a prerequisite.
All right, guys. Well, it's time to address that gorilla in the room. 500-pound, pretty big guy right there.
I mean, you just gonna skip me?
I thought
you did say 500-pound.
Oh, yo,
I don't
Mega,
know why.
You know what?
I don't know why he was referring to you as that, but I mean that's what he said.
You know what, Mega? Go ahead and share your opinions. I do apologize, brother. I do. And while you do that, I will be right back. So just kind of control the reins real quick. All right, man?
All right. Yeah. No. Only thing I was just gonna say was on the end. This is. I think I have to agree with Don on this. I think that the show is good. Differently though, not as what he was saying with producer. Sony is over here saving money, so them bringing actors and shit like that, that's just not going to happen. Because if you watch their couch PSX shows, they're very boring, or the with last year's the pre-show before the E3 showing for PlayStation.
That's what I'm saying.
It was no. I think that those are going. It's going to be cheesy. It's not going to have the same excitement. But this is why I think it's going to be better. Is because the fan base is going to accept it a lot. That's the whole thing. Everybody's going to love it. Everybody's going to enjoy it just because it is something that PlayStation does. In Sony's favor with this is because they're not going to E3, so they can show something a little bit. They could show something that they would have held back if they were going to E3. So that right there will give them, that will be another advantage.
But brother, they said that they're not going to E3 because basically they have nothing to show.
Oh, no, I'm saying I think that this might be the start of their reveal of the PlayStation 5.
Oh, they're gonna like do a little sneaky kind of like side peek of the DualShock 5 or something like that?
Yeah, I mean, because I was thinking that they may have did it at GDC or did something else. But remember, when they brought out the PlayStation 4, they did it around this time, and they had their own little venue and things like that. And then this is going to be where they're going to have their first show kicking off. Maybe showing a little glimpse of the PlayStation 5. They may actually show it. Who knows? That's the thing, is that they don't have E3 to worry about to hold back a whole bunch of things. So they can kind of just feed gamers, feed their fan base throughout the time till they get to PSX. And that's why I say that it's going to be better, because the PlayStation fan is going to eat it all up, regardless of how cheesy it is, regardless of what, because they're going to have the cheeseball stuff. This company is a big corporation. It's still going to have the fluff. It's going to be politically correct. It's not going to be edgy. It's going to be the same way. It's just that PlayStation's got a different angle to it. And yeah, I know, there's fanboys out there to be talking about PlayStation Pulse and all the other shows that they've had. I forgot, Cubo or some kind of crazy stuff that they had back in the PlayStation 3 days. But it's very telling that they are following the path of their competition, because they're bringing this stuff out in the blue. If they weren't worried about anything, if they weren't worried about what Xbox is going to show or what Nintendo is going to show, or even Google or anybody else that's going to be a player in this, they wouldn't do this show.
Dude, but it's so weird. It's so weird to hear Google with gaming right now, man. Like just the names, because Sony, Nintendo, Xbox, you're kind of like, it's just normal to hear like Google thrown into the mix. I'm just thinking it was just weird.
Well, no, I mean this is the new normal. Get ready for it, because I said this on GRG last night. Google got a plan, and regardless of what people is going to talk about, we'll talk about it later. What I'm saying? It's going to be a long-term plan, slow burn.
They also have a bailout plan, trust me.
Well, I mean, yeah, but
that's how they operate.
This is a slow burn, though. This isn't, what I'm saying? This is just like how Xbox came into the fold. But I know this is another topic. But for this show here, it's smart by Sony, because again, they know that they're not going to be at E3, and if they were just silent this whole time, then this is where Xbox and Nintendo would thrive and murder everything in their wake, because nobody will be talking about PlayStation, and PlayStation just cannot have that. So it's smart. I think that we'll be seeing maybe some kind of tease for the reveal of the PlayStation 5.
Well, Callie Rex. Mega, Callie Rex in the chat says, at least as of right now, a YouTuber is reporting that Sony said nothing, in relation to the PS5. But we all know that can change.
It could change. I mean, maybe not. But that's just my theory. I'm not saying that that's going to be set in stone, of course. But I just know that they revealed the PlayStation 4 around this time. 5 years ago. So
that's if they release this holiday. I don't think they're releasing this holiday.
No,
I'm just saying that's the parallel. So we all know these consoles. We all know these consoles is coming out next year. So the more direct parallel to what you're trying to say is basically if they did it this time next year after GDC, that would match up. But we're about a year ahead.
Yeah, you're right. You're right.
Last time, so.
You're right. You're right. I forgot to think about that. So yeah, scratch that, ladies and gentlemen. I'm thinking way ahead. I'm thinking like Microsoft. But the thing of it is that the show is going to get better praise because the PlayStation fan is much more loyal than the Xbox fan. So just get ready for it. Whatever they show, they're going to show Death Stranding. They're going to show maybe something new, or a clip, or just throw up a damn sign of a name, and then there you go. And then so
when you said Death Stranding, I pictured that. Now they're going to show a baby in a toilet bowl and an octopus come walking through the door.
Sony's been doing, man.
And it's going to say Death Stranding. And people are going to go crazy, man. Huge shout out to the chat. There's a discussion going on. Christopher Hart said Google is coming for Xbox. Xbox's jugular. And in the chat, other people are stating, well, they're coming for everybody's jugular. And with this, I actually have to agree with Christopher Hart. And the reason is they're not necessarily going for Xbox's jugular, but they want to go after Microsoft. Like, Microsoft and Google are definitely competitive corporations that really don't like each other. So I can agree on that aspect of it. Christopher Hart said it's about, Xbox talking streaming. To have everything laid out like that, you would have to be planning that for a long time. All right, so it's not just, well, Xbox is talking that, so here we go, guys, just throw this all together.
Bro, I don't know what the big deal with this, the Stevia shit that everybody's so hyped up, bro.
Well, Knox, that's actually our next topic. I appreciate the segue because we are going to get right into it now. Google actually announced that they are stepping into the ring of gaming, but not in the way a lot of people thought. Was it the Game Developers Conference that just went on? Google came out and announced Stadia, which is a game streaming platform, and
not an artificial sweetener.
No, no NutraSweet in Stadia, but it is a game streaming platform. Now there were rumors about Google coming out with a console, and I thought that they were going to come out with a console plus have a streaming platform as well. But that isn't the case. The only hardware that they unveiled was a controller. But they are talking a lot of YouTube
integration.
There we go. Thank you.
Let's be country.
See, ever since I said pickup truck, it's been downhill from there, man. That's called karma. It's called karma. But there's a lot of
that Connecticut education is showing, bro.
Dude, I went to a Catholic school too, man.
Oh man, mercy.
But a lot of it did seem really cool for what they were showing, and I see a lot of people out there, really kind of getting upset about the whole game streaming thing, saying that this thing isn't going to last. It's only going to be out there 3 years. But here on next podcast, we have a panel that is going to share their opinions. Let's start with the Don. The Don is finally, he's not going to be closed-lipped anymore. He's going to speak up. Brother.
What do you want to know?
What do you think about what Google unveiled? And for people out there who say, they didn't say anything about a price, they didn't really show games, let them know why you think, because I think we're in agreement here. Let them know why you think that they didn't do that.
Yeah, well, that stuff. I mean, everything they announced wasn't really for anyone listening to this podcast, right?
Say that again, brother. Say it again. It wasn't
really for anyone here listening on this podcast, except for maybe me.
Ooh,
because it's a developers conference. So what they're trying to do is they're trying to sell the platform, which is a streaming platform, to developers. If you look at all their support, it was all third-party middleware.
Yes, sir.
So
what's that mean?
What that means? It means you got the tools necessary and it runs on their system, basically, is what it boils down to. So they have the support for all the middleware. Even things that Microsoft makes.
Havoc, baby.
Havoc, right? So now there's very few games that are running on it. It does run off a Linux system. That's probably the biggest negative, I would say, to the whole thing. Mm-hmm. The positive is they run AMD's API. What was that? I forgot the name of it right off the top of my head. It's not
Vulkan?
Vulkan. So they're reading Vulkan. So that's something that's being pushed from developers. They want Sony to do something similar to Vulkan on the next PlayStation. And we all know Xbox is going to do DX12, which means you can utilize more cores out of CPUs, which therefore get games running better and smoother in regards to that. So, and then I think the whole crossplay thing, like when they announced crossplay, it was saying, hey, if you want to do crossplay between other platforms, we're not going to stop you, right?
Nice.
That's not guaranteeing crossplay or certain brands will play nicely with them, right? But they're saying, hey, we're open to it.
We're not the ones putting up the wall there.
Exactly.
Basically.
They're establishing that right off the bat. So everything, if you go back and look at the announcement, everything they're saying is realistically for the developer. When they say, hey, our GPU scale, and people are like, oh, infinite GPU power. Well, GPU scaling doesn't really work that well when you use multiple GPUs, even in a server rack. So slow down a little bit on that, because you utilize the first one really well, but the second GPU doesn't really work that well. I mean, people see that in PC.
Well, AMD has had issues. I forgot what they called with like combining GPUs and like your PC.
I mean, NVIDIA's had issues too. Like multiple GPUs never runs great.
Okay.
That's the harsh reality. So, I mean, they had that side of things that they're trying to push. They tried to push the whole, games are going to be more secure on our platform. That resulted to nothing but laughter with the devs I was with driving up north from GDC when they announced it, because we were streaming it via Bluetooth in the car, because we all know Google's it's not the most secure. Really
well, they're using the servers that they have kind of like dedicated for YouTube for this, right?
Mm-hmm. So, anyways, not the most secure.
He was like, "You just proved my point." There you go.
So they're not the most secure when it comes to that. So, I mean, there's always a way to cheat and all that sort of stuff. So, I mean, that does exist. Do people have to jump through different hoops? Yes, but there'll be smart people out there, and there'll be exploits out there. Just probably about the same amount of exploits you see on consoles. They do exist on consoles too. So, that's kind of really what it was all about. The harsh reality is, though, I think people they hear like certain numbers, they get really excited, and they just don't understand the context of all of it. Like the reality is, it's still a streaming service. It's still going to have latency issues. It's going to be compression. So the quality of what you're getting through that pipe is going to vary from user to user, from device to device.
And they even kind of stated that, like in talking to developers after their show or whatnot, right? I mean, they stated like certain things with latency, and the whole compression of the game through streaming and stuff. So it's not like Google is keeping it a secret, right?
Yeah, exactly. Like for example, like you can technically stream 4K from YouTube, but it's really not 4K if you analyze what you're actually getting, right? Okay. But it's tricking whatever device saying it is a 4K signal. So you get into that sort of stuff, which is fine. I mean, and I've said this before, there is a customer for this, right? I think it's another level of customer. And I don't think a lot of gamers are going to understand it till about 3 months into this stuff kind of being really out to the public, to everybody. And then people are going to start kind of wrapping their head around it. It's not the same experience. It's fine. It might be the okay experience for you or for somebody else. And that's really kind of what it boils down to. There's just always going to be a deficit. And I also looked at the, the 10 gigabytes, not 10 gigabytes. Why am I saying gigabytes? Yeah. Flops. They're referring to on the GPU. Yeah. When the GPU power, I don't really think it's not in the way you guys think it is. They're doing multiple renders using that 10 T-flops.
So they have like multiple people's games going on.
No, it's no, your game. So what they do, there's a thing called predictive rendering when it comes to this sort of stuff, and I haven't been keeping up with, game streaming technologies. But one of the technologies they kept talking about is basically predictive rendering, which is they anticipate what you're going to be your next move and pre-render the next move.
Yeah, you were telling me about that.
Yeah, and so a lot of what you're seeing in the case of what they're probably doing there is there's a reason why you're seeing the latest game that they have on the service only do 1080p.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So like you're like, well, it has 10 T-flops. They should be able to do much higher than that. I understand the bandwidth and like that's what's going on there. And I've experienced all the stuff from the early stuff from Warp far as Google's done. So I mean I've done all the ins and outs. I kind of get a good idea where they're going to be going with it. And I think the biggest selling feature is honestly the YouTube integration. I think that's the huge.
That's the craziest part to me, man. Certain things with YouTube, like if you watch like a trailer of a game and it's out and it's on like Stadia, you can like there's a little icon to play now, and you just click on it, and 5 seconds from you clicking on that, you're playing the game. All right.
It's the big issue of removing barriers that we were talking about earlier on the PlayStation side of things. I mean, Microsoft's going to have a guarantee with Mixer. They looked at that. It's like, yeah, we're going to do that.
Yeah, but the Mixer's not YouTube, though, brother.
I understand that, but
yeah.
why limit yourself, right? If you provide that service, and I understand it's not YouTube. YouTube's one of the biggest websites out there.
Yeah.
On the planet. So I totally get it where they're coming from on that, but it's going to be interesting. I mean, I've tried it at its best. I've tried it at its worst.
Did you try it in between though?
Well, I tried on Google Fiber. I mean, does that count for one of the
Google Fiber is going to be everywhere, people.
No. But that's the thing. I think a lot of this too, like when people are talking about the long game and short game and what's their plan, they're going to crush everybody. I think honestly, all that technology in their cloud service, they're going to license out to other people if they're not streaming games. If that makes any sense. So they're going to utilize that power. They're not going to just have it sit on the rack do nothing.
Basically, what Xbox is doing right now.
Yeah, because it basically subsidizes that whole entire sector that when you have to rely on huge calculations that you can't do under your monitor, right? And that's what they're going to do is leverage that sort of stuff. And I mean, I think that's the reason why they can stream do multiple GPU rendering and things along those lines. So,
all right,
I'm sorry, guys, I'm tired. I'm
not
my normal self today.
Like I said, man, you're finally lifting the silence from this, and you're putting it out there. I love when it comes down to it. GDC is Game Developers Conference, so I think a lot of people, the kind of like the major misstep with checking out what they were showing is thinking that conference was made for the consumer or the gamer, because it really wasn't. They do put it out there so you can see, but they're hoping that you see with the idea that, well, it's a developers conference and we're catering to the people who develop the games. And that's where the information is going to, that they want to like catch those ears of the developers that are there and convince them that they want to develop their game on this platform. All right. Exactly. So that's why there was no price point for the gamer or the consumer or anything like that. And they were basically going through and showing, what the developers want to see when it comes to developing on that platform. But Knox, I know you were a huge fan of Stadia, and now you can let everybody know exactly how you feel from what you saw. Is Google on to something, man? Are they gonna go crazy with game streaming like never before?
Hey, listen, man.
I love that. Listen, man.
There's nothing attracting me to it per se. There's nothing calling me about it. I don't. Okay, it's streaming service, whatever. If I'm already invested with Microsoft, and if they're bringing their streaming service, then whatever. I'll just stay there. There's nothing enticing me to go to Google right now at all, or to be remotely interested in it. Yeah, it might have some cool features or whatever. We'll see. You know what I'm saying? But as of now, in my opinion, there's nothing drawing me to that. They didn't do anything that impressed me or made me go, hey, man, I might have to.
Oh, did he cut out?
Where'd he go?
Yeah.
I just
Google
want to
shut his chick.
Google shut him down.
Google came like the
Google's trying to get me.
That's exactly what happened. Anyway.
But yeah, man, nah, I'm not interested in it at all.
Well,
man, I want a chance to try to sell Knox on it. I wasn't here last week.
You said you want a chance, or you want somebody?
Yeah, I want a chance to try to sell Knox on it. Like,
all right, well, go ahead, brother.
Right?
Try to hit that rock with a sledgehammer. Go ahead.
Listen here, Knox. I'm the same guy. I'm going to buy hardware just like you, right? But we all have conversations with people that are kind of interested in gaming and maybe interested in some of the games that we are, but they don't buy consoles. I think we all know somebody like that. But wouldn't you recommend either Google's service or Microsoft's service if it was a game that you enjoyed and you want to play with your buddy, and all they had to do is buy that instead of buy a console and then play with you? Would you recommend that?
If Microsoft is providing that service, if it's something that they're doing, maybe. Am I going to go and get a whole new platform to take advantage of that feature? No, not right now.
That's what I'm trying to point out. Is I don't think this stuff is really for us. I know a lot of people are investing into it now, and they'll figure it out later. But I think it's for those conversations that you and I and other people in the podcast have with other people. And you remove that barrier, they just have to get the game. And then now, next thing you know, you're playing Destiny 3 with your buddy.
Destiny 3. Let's go.
You couldn't get him to buy an Xbox or a PlayStation to save his life, right? But he's willing to pay the $60, and and honestly, you can do it on the Google service, or you could have done it on the Xbox service because they're cross-play friendly as far as that stuff goes. And next thing you know, they're able to do something that you enjoy with you. I mean, I think there's benefits there.
No doubt. There absolutely are benefits, and they're gonna take advantage of all of that. And that's gonna be cool. Those are gonna be some great options to have. That's basically where they want to go, right? That's why Microsoft is putting all that stuff everywhere, wherever they can put Game Pass or Xbox Live or however it is that they're gonna move it along going forward. They're gonna do that. And if people could just buy the game and pick up a controller, Bluetooth controller, and just play, go ahead. But I'm just saying, that's cool. That's a feature that'll be coming to a platform that I'm already invested in. So that's all right. Is it going to make me run out and buy a whole new platform? They're going to have those same features and all that. Not right now. I'm not seeing anything that makes me say, you know what, I want to go there.
Okay.
I want to check it out.
All right. Well, Don, do you have any more?
No. I'm just trying to get him to look at it, where it can benefit.
I think what it says in Knox, like, correct me if I'm wrong. Like, you're thinking about it for you as your gaming. Like, I'm not going to move to a platform just because it's game streaming with YouTube interaction and stuff like that, because you've already invested so much time, effort, and money into the platform that you're on right now, right?
Correct.
All right. So yeah, I can definitely see that.
Now for someone new coming in, for a whole new market, a whole new consumer, they might just
new generation coming up, brother. That new generation.
They could very well suit their needs. You know what I'm saying? I'm just looking at it from my perspective only. You know what I mean?
I got you, bro. Yo, Predator, what do you think about this announcement, the whole Stadia thing? Are you in on this as well? Do you think Google's onto something here?
Yes and no. I think it's a new front for the war on gaming.
Oh man, it's going to be a part of the war. It's not gonna end it, man.
No. I mean, I think like this is the direction everyone's going, and like you hear all these other companies now starting to get into it. I'm just waiting to see what the differential is going to be between one and the other. You know what I'm saying? Like one thing people have not really realized when it comes to the streaming service is that you're tied to a controller now. Like you have to take that motherfucker with you everywhere. Like even when they were demoing it on the GDC conference, this guy had to take his controller, pop it over here, plug it into this system, drop it over here. Like I don't carry a controller with me, on a daily basis. So
Google and Xbox are hoping that you will, though. Trust me.
Yeah, I mean, like I don't have a fanny pack with a controller in it.
Well, first off, I'll make you one. Second off, Xbox doesn't require that.
They don't. You can play off the little thumb.
No, it's part of the whole game stack thing. So they actually have touchscreen controls that translates over.
Yeah, that the developer can customize as well.
It's optional by the developer side of things. I don't think it's required. As last time I checked.
I think my takeaway from the whole thing, I had more questions than answers. They kind of just presented it, but didn't really show some of the things that you're going to think about, like how much. I know it's going to come later, of course, but when they introduced it, I think some of those those key points should have been made. This is how we're planning on doing the service. This is like the games we're talking. I mean, they talked a lot of trash. Don't say trash. They talked a lot of good game about people working with them and you know, other companies getting interested in, you know, working with the platform and stuff like that. But they didn't really show anything with Assassin's Creed and Doom. A lot of stuff for the investors out there, if they were watching, like, yeah, everything sounded good. But from the gamer in me, I was like, well, I need to see what you've got on this platform that's going to pull me away from my Xbox ecosystem or even my PlayStation ecosystem or my Switch ecosystem, other than just being able to game on the go.
Rumors are they have Sega to help develop kind of like original IP or bring back kind of like titles from the past under Sega.
Well, we have titles from the past on Sega right now, back in Pat.
Yeah, but like kind of like developed up to like today's standards. And
reboots new games.
Yeah, put only on
and you know what? That's great if they do that, because they're going to need something on their platform to make people want to come to it. I don't know if Sega and their library of just Sonic and you know, like
Sega got a long lineup, brother.
They got a long lineup. Yeah, they got a lot of games
recently. Like,
yeah, Persona, Yakuza.
That's their.
Yeah, that's Sega.
Yeah. So I mean, I don't play those games. So like,
well, I understand, right? Yeah.
There you go. So there's
Vanquish. You know, go ahead.
Okay. I mean, you can throw all these games at me, but they're games I'm not interested in. So for me, as a gamer, the gamer in me, they're not bringing anything that I'm interested in to make me swoon over to that platform. Even if they do get Sega and bring back games and play Persona and Vanquish and stuff like that on there, those games have been out now. I'm not playing them. So why would I go to their ecosystem to play them? I have a PC, I have an Xbox, I have a PlayStation, I have a Switch, and now you want me to stream on Google. Now there are some good things I liked about it, like how they're big in the crossplay. They're you know, thinking about doing that. I mean, if I can seamlessly go from, you know, playing on my Xbox to playing with people who are playing on Google, good. But I mean, for the most part, it's just another option. And I think one of their downfalls is the fact they don't have a physical console. Like I still want that. You know, like if they had that on top of games, you know, you're telling me I can only stream to my people already paid for. Like I still would want a physical console at some point in time. Even with Xbox, I would still have a physical console as long as I possibly can. Because sometimes I just want to play on my console. I mean, I want to see it working. I want to see it, you know, I love tech, but sometimes I get caught up in the tech talk, and I think we all do. They come up with promises of what they're going to do, and then, you know, when the situation is actually dropped, they're missing some of the features they said they're going to happen. And I want to wait and see before I make a formulated decision on it. But if you ask me right now, I'm not interested. I will try it because I did it with Assassin's Creed. I played their version of it on the Google stream. It worked. It had some latency issues and stuff like that. But
you said it worked really well though. Like when you did play.
Sometimes, like, you know, you can find a little. I mean, it was minimal. That's a single player game. You know, I can't do that in the Division. You know, I can't do that playing that with latency like that if I'm playing a shooter like Call of Duty or something like that, or Battlefield. So I want to see it work. I want to see it work in the wild, multiplayer, and all this stuff with the 4K 60 and 8K.
8K eventually.
See all that shit working before. I mean, and again, if it works, I'll eat crow. But as of right now, I'm just not interested in just streaming, because if I'm going to go with a streaming service right now, it's going to be the Xbox platform because I have all my games there already.
So let me ask you this, Brett, since you've done more of the Assassin's Creed than I think most of the people here on the panel with as far as Google Stream goes.
Yeah, I hadn't touched it at all.
Yeah, I have. Both me and Brett both play. So you're starting to see the deficit that's there, right? Like it's not the same experience.
No.
I mean, it's not a bad experience. It's much better than what the service could have been. Definitely better than what PlayStation's doing right now, to be honest with you. Even though they have a more complete library.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, like if I was out and about and I would want to play Assassin's Creed, that would suffice.
Yeah,
I was getting at it would suffice, but you know, we got some nitpicky gamers out here. It's got to be 4K 60. It's got to be.
That all started this generation, by the way.
We become really finicky as gamers, and some people, like, they can't pick up a game and let it work at 1080 30. They can't do that now. And like, you know, like I get in arguments like this with some of my friends, like, and I've been in some of the shitholes in the military. I used to drink out of a fucking water faucet. Like a water hose. I'd be outside playing basketball in this hot ass Texas heat. You know, we get thirsty, we go pull the water hose out, we drink out the fucking water hose. People won't drink out bottled. People will only drink out of bottled filtered water nowadays. Like, I mean, like it's a generational thing, I guess. But like, it didn't bother me when I was a kid.
Yeah,
but now growing up now, we're like, ew, you drink out the water hose? Oh my God, it's crazy. Like, but we did that as kids. We did some crazy shit as kids. It didn't affect us. But now as gamers, the shit that we played before that was fine, 1080p, 60, 1080p, 720 in some cases. Like, I understand we've progressed as gamers, but don't forget where you came from. Like, we were playing this shit before. Don't make it seem like you can't play it now. It's unplayable because the game has a small glitch or a bug or like drops frames in this one little section on this one area that you know what you're never gonna go to anyway because
or there's just not enough grass on the version of the game that you know for the platform you play on. You know.
Yeah. I don't know where I was going with this rant, but I mean, I just see people just getting
kind of like Livewire last night.
Yeah, really picky, man, about this shit. And like at the end of the day, if I was in a fucking rat hole somewhere and all I had was Google Stream to play Assassin's Creed Odyssey, I'd be fucking happy. I wouldn't complain about what I got out of it. I mean, I just personally want to see it working. And I want to, you know, they're gonna drag me out of this ecosystem into theirs. They have to bring something more than just what I saw at their show. The
real challenge is too is when they grow, right? So anytime a network has to deal with more clients, that's when things just get tricky.
Yeah.
In regards to this was a really controlled test that they had. Probably the game running very conservatively as much as possible on the hardware. So, you know, it's interesting. I mean, I have a copy of Assassin's Creed on the service. They gave it to me for participating. I don't know if you got that
or not,
Fred. So, I mean, I have it. I mean, I can go back and try any time, but it's just, you know, it's just different. And like, the thing is though, playing it, I did see, I'm like, I understand there is a customer for this. And I understand they're going to get better, but whatever they get better on the streaming service is also going to make my home console experience better. Does that make sense? So like, they're always going to kind of like chase one another, if that makes any sense. So, I mean, I think, I'm more excited for more people playing games than I am for the service for myself personally.
Yeah. I have a tendency to think that way as well. I think about me, you know, personally as a gamer, but like when it comes down to like gaming news, I think about all the gamers out there. You know what I'm saying? And sometimes they don't go together. Like me as a certain type of gamer, whether you say console gamer or something like that. Like I'm probably not going to get into Stadia, but I'm looking at it in a more general form to other gamers out there, people who might not be so invested in like a certain platform or something like that, or people that are new to gaming as well.
I like to call them lost soul gamers, like in the sense like they're lost, like they're still gamers, right? They play games, they enjoy similar products that I've played, and there's a lot of friends that haven't moved on to this generation. I'm like, you know what? Maybe that would be perfect for them, right? Like, cause I miss playing games with those people. So like to me, I look at it, it's like, okay, not something I'm gonna buy, but maybe this is a good for my neighbor down the street, or you know what I mean, or somebody I used to play with online. And I look at it from that perspective, where I have some of my old friends coming back to gaming, and that's exciting to me, to be honest with you.
Yo, shout out to Bobo in the chat. It's like, I'm good with Xbox Anaconda and next gen Nintendo. Google is a never was for me. xCloud. Yo, Mega, I saved you for last because I think that me and you fit a certain category when it comes to Stadia and what they're kind of offering. You know, it is game streaming. I definitely want to hear your opinion about it in general. But I also want to hear about your opinion on it as a streamer. To have like your game being interactive, where people in the chat can line up in a lobby to play a game with you. All right, which is a Stadia feature. Certain interactions that you would have with the people who come and check out your live streams. I feel like that is a really interesting part, and it might not be for every gamer out there. But, you think about, bigger YouTubers or people that stream games, and that more of that interaction will lead to, you know, more people coming to your stream and stuff. So I also want to hear what you think about that as well, brother.
Yeah, no, I'm different. I'm like, you know, Don, Pred, Knox, they've all said it's for a certain gamer. I'm that certain gamer.
Oh, shoot.
I'm all in. This is the thing for me. It's like, it's not about, look, everything comes in with hopes and dreams and lollipops and unicorns flying across the damn sky. But when we get that product, it's always flawed. It's never been a time in gaming history where we've had a console that didn't have any type of issues or anything else. Games, you know what I'm saying? Right now, this generation has been the worst when it comes to hyped up games that's had bugs, issues. My favorite game of this generation, The Witcher, it was a buggy ass mess. So that's just the whole thing. It's just what it is. So I don't expect Stadia to be perfect once it's launched, but I'm all in if the price is right. That's all it is for me. And if it's like a service that's going to be like $20-$30 a month, sign me up, because I see so much more potential down the line, and I'm also a tech freak. So I just got so hyped when I seen that what everybody was been talking about, the whole YouTube thing, but also like it reminded me of sitting at the arcade and you put your token, a quarter, is according how far you go back, and you waiting to jump on that next fighting game or that next whatever game to get out there to play, because they showed the integration of 2K, right? Well, they showed 2K, and then they showed like you can jump in and throw yourself into a lobby and wait, and while everybody's over there conversating, there's new people there, and you know, you get to interact. That type of stuff to me is absolutely cool. It kind of takes you can still kind of talk with freaky people because they could be on some other shit. But the one thing that really makes it positive is kind of like the arcade vibe for me. And I would love for Xbox to bring xCloud in with Mixer into that, because that brings more of that integration with not only the people that watch you and support you, but it also brings another element of competition, which I love, because it's me loving fighters and sports games, things like that. So I think that the Stadia thing, as for me, it may not be for everybody, but it is for me, and I want to support it for the fact, because I want technology and gaming to go as far as it fucking can and stop staying status to where there's only these guys that says, I want it this way and nothing else. Get the fuck out of here, kick rocks. I want more from my gaming experience. I've already had the damn games that look like damn 8-bit graphics and with these indie games. You can love that. That's fine. I've been there, done that. Don't want that shit no more. I want what I seen when they showed another beta test to the Unreal Engine 4. Give me that. Give me more innovation. Give me that high tech shit before I die. I can look like I could be playing games that's far beyond my ever wildest dreams. That's what I want. And combining all of us gamers in here, one thing that it absolutely does, it still keeps the freaks in there, which I hate, but it takes away from the fucking console war, and that to me is way more important than anything anyone indicates.
And you nailed it on that one, because you think, well, why is Phil been so nice about all of the consoles, all the other platforms? He doesn't want to divide people. That's the thing. He wants to bring them together.
Right, and that's the thing for me, is that I love. It's like, look, man, I'm always going to have my primary. And for the last 2 generations, my primary has been Xbox. And I don't think that I'm ever going to go away from Xbox, because now I'm solidified into that infrastructure. I bought more games than I've ever bought for the Xbox. So the Anaconda is definitely on the way. Once we know price, we see it, whatever, it's coming. And with xCloud, I'm all over it. That's going to be my primary. But I don't have a problem of having something down the line. And also, as a content creator, having the YouTube thing, look, it's going to be a lot more better to utilize that Stadia with YouTube.
Oh, brother, the whole thing with YouTube.
Can imagine, and that's to me as a content creator is like I can't wait, because to me it's like more so. If you notice on my channel, I haven't been giving out so many videos. I want to do more streaming, not because I don't want to do videos. I'll do videos here and there, but the fact of it is that to me, it's just more talking about the same shit over and over again, and you're still going to have people be, yeah, you're wrong, you're this, you're that. I don't care about really. I'm just giving my opinion of going from there, and then we move on. Yeah. I'd rather be integrated with the rest of the community playing games instead of getting into this whole debate of who's better, who's not, what game didn't sell, what game sold, blah, 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 blah. That's what GRG is for. That's what Next is for. That's what Podcast is for. For me, I want to get in here and I want to fucking game with my brethren out here, my brothers and sisters out here. And that's it. And to me, that's what I want to do. So kudos for Google for doing their shit. I know it's not going to be perfect, but I'm all for it as long as the shit works somewhat properly.
Yo, brother, and the thing about it with the whole YouTube thing, something that really interests me as well. And I know you just picked up a brand new PC, you got it all working and stuff like that. But with Stadia, you're playing the game, but it does like its own separate stream to YouTube, and it's going to stream at the highest possible kind of like performance it can go. They're talking like the stream in I think, as the Don would say, YouTube 4K. With its compression and stuff like that.
Just whatever the last mile can handle, right? I mean, that's what's going to end up happening. So, I mean, takes
everything off of the streamer's shoulders in terms of, bit rate and all that good stuff to get everything kind of like running as clean as possible. And it's like Google saying, our servers are going to take care of that for you.
Well, the whole stream integration thing, the thing I think that's rad about that, like I look at it as like, okay, if you're a publisher, you got to be thinking, okay, if you're on Google service or let's say xCloud, right? The two they have something that's going to possibly.
Oh, hold on 1 second. Hold on 1 second. Yo, Christopher in the chat. Nintendo is cloud streaming Resident Evil 2 in Japan to the Nintendo Switch. If you look it up, they do have a handful of games that they are testing a cloud streaming kind of like solution with the Nintendo Switch, but it's only in Japan. That is a true thing. Bobo is actually correct on that, man.
Snapchat, and Walmart are considering coming into.
Yeah, but Walmart can't even build a PC. So let's
hold on. That's not okay. But yeah, I get that, Don. But this is where the thing that I don't think that you understand, or what other people that just don't want the streaming. I can't say you don't want the streaming thing to succeed, but that for others out there that I just want. Look, this is where it's going. If you like it or not, just like with digital sales, when everybody bitched about that, just like with everything else that we've seen with the integration of what Xbox has been doing and for everything else, look, man, it's an option. As long as we still get our consoles, as long as we still get.
Yeah, and I never said it's going to threaten it. Like I think it's going to grow the pie.
It is, but the fact of it is, it's going to reach out to the casual. Look for them. This is where I look at it as a benefit for because PlayStation's going to do the same thing, Don.
Those are the friends I was talking about earlier, right? The casuals that used to play. Like, so yeah, I'm in agreement with that. I just don't think it's ever going to replace your home console, and nor is it going to hold that back too.
For some people, it will, because that for the younger generation, I think that it will. For the fact,
I don't think it's a younger or an older thing. I think it's just the mentality of the gamer itself. It really
for the casual and for the person that's economic, right? That's where streaming is going to benefit for them down the line. If you can just think about this for a second, if Google comes out and they say, man, it's like $30 a month, right? And you get our controller, or you can, and they already said you can use any other controller, right? So you got that one person, right? That's the college kid that's over here, got to pay their tuition. They're over here, they're making their thing, and they really want to play these certain games, but they know that they can't buy a $500 console from either PlayStation 5 or from Xbox.
Yeah, because they're already in top ramen. I get you.
Right, yeah. And so they're already getting the top ramen. So you know what I'm saying? So if there's $30 and they can still get the chance to play these games at $30 a month, all they got to do is use the controller that they have, a PlayStation or a fucking Xbox controller. They're all for it. That's why I say let it come. I mean,
I'm very pro for it. I don't think
anybody that I know is going to stop buying a console.
No, it's not going to happen. Like, that's the thing. They all need each other. Like,
Right.
that's the harsh reality. Is like, this is where it's only really a problem is, and this is for console or let's say for streaming, it's really only a problem if the pie stops continue to grow. Then gaming's in a little bit of an issue, right? Because now we're splintering the community if, say, a platform doesn't provide crossplay or something along those lines, right? So that becomes an issue. But I don't think that's what this is. This is reaching out to a different demographic of customer that may not mind the deficit that's there. And that's fine. There's some people that are like that. There's some people that, won't buy PlayStation 4 Pro because they think that vanilla is just fine. That's the same thing that we're talking about here. The difference is, and I think where we're going to see a lot of these streaming, and I said you'll see a lot of streaming people come out, but not very many of them will be successful and be able to do it right. Mm-hmm. It really comes down to two things. It comes down to the latency and the consistency on the feedback that someone has, right? If you get like a bunch of spikes as far as like player control, that's going to be discouraging for people. And then like the latency itself was going to be the discouraging thing. So the streaming companies are going to do the best are the ones that are able to tackle that the most. It's not, in a lot of ways, I don't even think for the streaming customer, it's about the in resolution or even frame rate, to be honest with you, right? It's the stability of the gameplay is what's going to win over that.
Yeah, the latency of when you hit the A button, how long does it take for your character to interact? The actual gameplay itself is what people are worried about right now.
It's that consistency.
Yes,
that's the main thing that gamers, like, we always talk about graphics. Oh, that's so beautiful, and then soon as the game loses control or messes up, that's when someone rage quits, right? So that's what they have to nail. So the people that are going to be able to honestly do that, I don't think Amazon's even remotely possible contender. We'll see if that's true or not. Walmart's definitely not a contender. I think Google is a contender. I think Sony's still a contender as well. They have technology. They just need to.
Well, they're restructuring PlayStation now.
If let me tell you this right now. If Walmart decides to get into that, and you say that they can't be a contender, I think you're sadly mistaken. Because they have way more access to showing that stuff off. They have so many customers out there, and if a parent can go in there and they can see that, and they like, whoa, I don't have to buy this kid a new console, and I can say that could do some damage. I'm not saying it is.
And I can earn discounts at the Walmart store.
Are you kidding me? That could be a major jump, man. I'm just saying.
I'm just saying it comes to actually working, and they don't have the technology to back it up.
Right. No, that's what it all comes down to that. But I'm just saying that they're not a player. If they got the tech to do it.
Well, they've also released their own consoles under different names too in the past, and that hasn't really moved needles either. So I don't think Walmart's a contender at all. I think Amazon has the same problem. It's the tech that drives it. They're not a contender. Google can be a potential contender, and the only reason why Microsoft's remotely contender in the console space is because they were able to bring more things to the console space that no one else was. It wasn't just about the money, right? They had a lot of technology that drove what they were trying to do. And so that's the same thing with Google. Google has they understand the internet, right? So they have a lot of the technology to be able to help make this a reality. Sony actually owns a lot of patents and technologies that they purchased, right? It's about the execution that has been the issue on the Sony side of things. So I see that as far as the streaming is concerned, there's really only going to be three contenders. If it has any sort of audience that it takes off with, it's going to be Google, it's going to be Microsoft, and it's going to be Sony. Those are the strong contenders.
I don't know, man. I don't know, man. I mean, it's just kind of like, to me. Look, I mean, to me, this is kind of like this is where I think where the guys were like at the beginning, where people were talking about the services, at like the cell phone services and stuff like that. This is the cell phone service aspect. You mean to tell me that T-Mobile, Cricket, what all these other Verizon, Yeah, I mean, you know what I'm saying? There's a whole bunch of different people that goes to different that uses all these other cell phone services. If these guys go out and these companies, these big companies go out and they really get into the streaming thing like that, we can be looking at that same type of aspect to where there's people that's looking for this type of service, that type of service. Yeah, I wouldn't tell anybody and their mama to go get a Cricket phone, but there are millions of people that do. So Don, I disagree wholeheartedly, because if there's people that's got an opportunity to play these games and they're not going to give too much fucks about a latency, because there might be just only one to play a certain type of game in the first place.
I definitely hear you, Mega, on the fact that there could be an audience, like if Walmart gets in, there could be a consumer base there. My whole thing with Walmart is, we've talked about exclusives giving personality to a platform, and now we see that platforms are now stretching across different forms of hardware with streaming. But I'm still at that ground level of exclusives give that platform its identity. So with Xbox, exclusives like Halo, Forza, Gears, and they have new IP coming on down the line. Sony, Uncharted, The Last of Us, God of War. It gives those platforms their identity. With Walmart, I'm not sure if they will invest in an identity and just be happy with like the Assassin's Creeds or the multiplats, Maddens,
they just
stuff
don't
like
have
that.
The years of technology to make it work, or the facilities that's required to make it work.
Yeah, well, they said they're just interested. It would take a while for them to develop.
Closing Walmarts or Sam Clubs to do it, like, then it's just not physically possible. Like, here's the thing: when we talk about the cloud,
I wouldn't say that, Don. I disagree wholeheartedly that it's
just some magic sauce that works. It doesn't. That's the harsh reality. It doesn't just magically work because it's in the cloud. It requires actual hardware. It requires technology to drive it. It requires developers wanting even to develop on your platform, right? And that's the other thing too.
That's what I think Walmart ain't gonna get. And
no, I mean,
developers to develop on
Microsoft may even stand a chance in this space as well. Is the fact that you don't have to develop anything different.
Hold on, Walmart owns Voodoo?
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't know that, man.
Right, that's what I'm saying. Like we're all sitting here talking as gamers. We don't sit here and think about.
We have to do more research on the whole Walmart thing, man.
Yeah, you guys better start understanding that. Look,
Voodoo is not. Come on,
Don. Stop thinking of this high level bullshit about
it's not high level
where gamers shit. Yeah, it is. Like you get into this. No, you're on a soapbox. Get the fuck off of it. Better start thinking about people when they're economics instead of start thinking about what could be done here, this and that. When you're talking about money and people having access to certain things, people will respond. That's what I'm saying. I'm not saying that Walmart can jump into the game and take over. That's not what I'm saying. But if you don't think that people will jump in and get this, if Walmart has something solid to show to those people, and they have so many people that comes into their stores, that's asinine not to think that they don't have an opportunity to get people to sign up for it. Period. I'm just being real.
I'm just being real too. If the light switch don't work, you're gonna return it.
You're right.
That's the harsh reality, and that's all I'm talking about. Is
I get that. You're right. It has to work, but if they got deep pockets. I was told Bloody brought this crazy shit saying Walmart is broke. We laughed at him like, bro, are you kidding me?
They're consolidating stores, and but businesses do that stuff all the time. That's not necessarily an indication if they're broke or not.
They always expand and contract.
Certain stores do well, and certain stores don't do well in certain areas, and you have to make those hard judgment calls. What I'm saying is they don't have the technology to drive it. Simple as that. So if it's not going to function properly, you're not going to maintain customers. And at the end of the day, we're at the point where these services are trying to win over a customer, a very particular customer.
Man, I can't wait to play Division. I'm watching the gameplay, man. I can't wait to play Division.
But that's the thing is these people are trying to win over the developers right now. And people are looking so far ahead, and they not necessarily have won over all the developers yet. So I mean, that's step one. Step two, you have to have technology to make it easier, so that it incentivizes people to be on that service and people to trust that service. Walmart doesn't have that clout. They don't have that ability. Like, they'll try. I guarantee you they will fail. They just don't have they don't bring anything to the table outside of, hey, I can sell you the service at their store.
Well, but that's the thing. Like, they'll sell it at the store. I don't think it would be like anytime soon. This would be a down the line type thing.
Yeah.
And that's what I'm saying there, with the fact that, yeah, they could have kind of like those basic multiplats, like I said, the Maddens, the Assassin's Creed, stuff like that. I don't know if they would go in and invest on, exclusive content to give their platform an identity that would make people say, hey, I want to get this over that. I want to get Walmart's
Are they going to
over
even
Google's.
invest enough for third party to even want to develop on there?
It's according to what the money is. I mean, look.
Yeah, that's about money, man.
It's about money, and it's also about, okay, but hold on. It's also enticing for people to bring in, let's say that they want to bring in their game over there, and let's say that they have their next PUBG. You never know. Like, you just don't know how gamers are going to respond to certain games. I'm not saying, Don, that this is.
So I'm telling you how developers are going to respond to what they would have to offer.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not talking from a gamer's perspective. I'm just saying, if the service doesn't function, it doesn't work at that high level, and it has the things that I'm trying to appeal to a customer, then how are they going to compete in that space?
Oh no, but I know that they ain't broke, because they own e-commerce acquisition. They own Voodoo, Moose Jaw, Jet.com.
What the hell is Moose Jaw?
I don't know. I'm just look. They got Amigo. They got
I get it. Like,
they're not broke. They're not broke.
I get it, but I'm just saying, like, there's going to be a lot of people that are going to try. There's a lot of people that are going to fail, and there's going to be a few that's going to be successful. The easy bets are the ones that we're all talking about right now, which are the Googles. They have the technology to drive it. They have the incentive to get developers on board. And we don't know who they'll get on board. I don't know if they'll get the next PUBG or not. I don't know that. But they have the technology to entice those talents over there. Same thing when it comes to Sony. Sony has the technology. They just don't have the infrastructure is the problem. And then with Microsoft, we'll see. We're putting a lot of faith in Microsoft. But, honestly, the way that it looks like they're doing it is just, you're just enabling it from a developer side of things.
Yo, the chat is killing it right now. Like, I'm hearing you guys, but I'm laughing my ass off right now. Yeah. Well, guys, it is getting kind of close to 9 o'clock, and there's another topic I want to jump in on. So, if you guys, I guess this is a to be continued type topic. I know we're gonna go back to this. When it comes down to it, I think Xbox is kind of in the lead with all this, because of their infrastructure for their cloud. They are known to have the biggest cloud infrastructure out of any of these companies. So in terms of any type of latency or anything like that, I think you're going to have to deal with a lot less when it comes to xCloud. But like I said, it's to be continued. Guys, let's talk about Cuphead. Cuphead, people. Cuphead will be going to the Nintendo Switch, I think April 18th. Is when it releases. I'll let you guys know, man. I thought this was really awkward when I saw it. It's actually being like it's going to be natively run on the Switch. So basically, they are porting it over to the Switch. And if it wasn't for Crap Gamer, kind of talking about like an old school Viva Pinata that was developed for the Nintendo DS at one point in time, like I thought this was kind of something I've never seen before. With Microsoft publishing a game that's going on another platform. Yo, Knox, what do you think about this news, man? Is this do you think this is a kind of like a one and done situation, or do you see Microsoft publishing more of their more games onto different platforms like this, man?
Yeah, that's definitely what Microsoft is going to be.
You
doing
sound so
forward.
depressed when you said yeah. You're like, yeah,
I mean,
yeah. That's what it looks like.
Listen, it is what it is. Let them make their bread, right? Give us at least, you know what I mean? Like, you could, after a year or two, you want to put it on, on another platform, any of your titles, go ahead, bro. Do it. Just let the Microsoft console owner feel like, all right, but I got the X, so I get to play it here for a year first. And that's that. After that, I ain't got no problem. If you're just gonna do a day and date everywhere, then that's what I'm like, nah.
All right, well, Knox, from what I'm looking at, there are rumors that Ori as well, the first Ori and Will of the Wisps might be going to the Switch as well. I'm looking at this like, the smaller games that are kind of like second-party deals, maybe.
Yeah, those are perfect fit for the Switch, bro.
I don't see, like, do you think there's some concern that, down the line, bigger games like Halo, Gears, Forza, are you concerned that those would actually go to different platforms down the line, or?
Like I said, bro, if Microsoft could put it on PlayStation, they're gonna put it. They'll put it on
like
there.
Halo, Gears, Forza, the big bangers, the big game. You think there's a chance?
If they could, now, I don't think there's a chance. I don't think it's gonna happen. But it's happening right now, right, with Cuphead. But putting it on a big. But I'm just saying, if Microsoft could, they would. That's what I'm saying. So they're definitely gonna keep trying this. So if they got other smaller titles, what's that crazy looking game from one of them studios that we just got, that with the happy people.
Oh, We Happy Few.
Yeah, I could see them porting that over to the Switch or something like that too.
Well, I don't know, man. Yo, I just gotta say, Knox,
or something like Recore. If Next, they decide to go with Recore.
Yo, for the last couple weeks, man, I gotta say, you have sounded so kind of like saddened with like the news going on right now, man. I feel for you, yo. Like to me, I think
I'm just old school, man. I'm just old school gaming, so I'm setting my ways a little bit. So I'll adjust. I'll go with the flow. You know what I mean? Well, I'll check it out.
We're all here for you through the transition, man. Your next podcast fam is here for you. I just want to let you know that, brother. All right?
Yeah, no doubt. Yo, yeah, bro. Like I said, that's the way they're going forward with this stuff. They want to put it everywhere. They want as much people to consume it as possible. You know what I mean? So that's how it is going forward, man.
Mm-hmm. I don't see like the bigger titles going anywhere. I feel like the bigger titles are that's what's going to entice people to go on the Xbox platform. Whether you're streaming to whatever device you want to stream to, or you're playing natively on the PC or the Xbox One, I don't see the bigger titles going anywhere. I'm looking at this as like the smaller titles, and that's like as far as it's going to go.
That's how it's going to start. But like I said, man, eventually, that's how it's going to start. But eventually, if they could get those bigger titles wherever, they'll get them, bro. They'll put them on Google's box if Google lets them with this new streaming shit. They'll put it wherever.
Yo, well, I don't know. Microsoft and Google, they're not cool.
They don't play nice.
Bro. They don't, man. But not at all. Like, yo, Phil Spencer was all like kumbaya after the whole Stadia thing. It leaked out that he's like wait until E3. Like he's putting on his gloves. His reverse tape on his knuckles,
rubbing his mitts and shit.
He's slamming it in broken glass. He's like, wait till E3.
Watch Google make it so you can just stream it from the Xbox, and then the Xbox block the app, and you're like, you're gonna see it.
Yo, for real. Yo, Beast in the chat was like, yo, Knox is hurting. Like, everybody put a 1 in the chat if you feel for Knox right now, being that old school gamer.
Yo, he just moved up to Washington, man. That's why he's a little depressed right now.
All right,
we're gonna get some division.
Yo, Mega, I gotta ask, like, how do you feel about this? And is it a sign that like bigger titles might go on natively to different platforms, man?
No, I think this is for the smaller titles. I wouldn't be surprised. I seen somebody put Sea of Thieves. I think it goes by what kind of title that they will be. Like, I could see I could see Sea of Thieves going over to the Switch, or I could see State of Decay being a game to go over to the Switch.
See, I can't see that, man. That's first party, brother.
I get that, but I think that it's more of those things where it's, to me, it's if those games doesn't produce properly on the Xbox or PC, then that would be a viable option. Gears, Halo, Forza, they're never going to PlayStation or going to the Switch. That's the bread and butter. And then for what an Xbox needs about maybe 2 more big bangers like that, to solidify why you should buy an Xbox. The whole PC narrative, I think that's the most stupidest narrative ever, because of the fact that Windows and Xbox are owned by Microsoft. So that's just what it is. I mean, I don't even look at, like, for the situation with Detroit going over to the PC now.
Oh, that movie bundle, right?
Yeah. Detroit, one of the best games of this generation. Watch your mouth.
Interactive movie, game. Brother.
Great. One of the best stories of this.
You got to swipe your touchpad to comb your hair. You know what I'm saying?
Fantastic game. Anyway,
wait. There's a comb over feature in the game?
Yeah. Of course there is, brother.
Got a comb over feature.
Yeah.
Gotta get those plugs in.
Yeah.
Oh.
Anyway,
I will be saying that later too, by the way.
But again, for PlayStation games that are synonymously on PlayStation, PlayStation didn't lose their exclusive either. I still keep that same energy because it's not on Xbox, it's not on Nintendo. This is the thing for me, is that Microsoft went out of their way from the reports that I read that said, hey, look, we want you to go ahead and do this, which means to me is that they're catering to Nintendo because they want something back from Nintendo. If you don't think this is business,
do you think it's collusion?
I think there's collusion. This is collusion. The rumor came back up again about Xbox Live. You could play.
Oh, we need a K Muller report right now.
So yeah, you need a K Muller report. So the thing of it is with me is that if they implement Xbox Live with Cuphead and Ori, that entice more people to jump on Xbox Live and may get people to say, hey, look, I may want to have the Switch as my secondary console and maybe Xbox being my primary when the Anaconda comes out. I don't know. We'll see. But I do feel that there's a trade-off that's going to come. I don't know what it could be from Nintendo, but if we could get a Splatoon or something like maybe some kind of Mario Kart or something like that, we don't know. I don't look, man.
That would be awesome.
You're not getting it, brother.
I doubt it.
Hold on, bro. Nintendo and Xbox have been real buddy.
Not that buddy, brother.
Man, I'm telling you, I'm telling you this, man. I'm still sticking with it. Nintendo is 1 foot out the door for the console business and ready to do their own streaming thing.
Rebrand Mario without a mustache but a goatee.
Yeah.
Whoa.
So I do think the Nintendo is 1 foot out of the console business because they don't want to compete on making big consoles like PlayStation and Xbox is doing. And the best thing for them, and that they don't have the infrastructure.
Brother, they don't have to. They just convinced the entire gaming community that a handheld is a console, man.
Look, man, if they do a Switch 2, that's good enough for the Nintendo fan. But if they go ahead and they bring a Splatoon and whatever if they bring a Splatoon and let's say a bullshit Kirby game to the, you know what, my ass is going to be playing with that little pink fat bastard. I can't wait. You know what I'm saying? I'll be all over.
Yo,
Kirby.
he's gonna inhale. Freaking Master Chief suit, and he's gonna get the Master Chief helmet.
I'm all over it.
Yeah.
That whole thing with Nintendo and Xbox, I think good things is coming either way, but it just looks bad to some gamers that Xbox is kind of like just throwing themselves in Nintendo.
Oh, wow.
I think something's getting back. But
watch this out. Yo, Mega, huge shout out to Restored Hades in the chat, supporting the super chat, supporting the channel. Thank you, brother. He said, I think Microsoft/Xbox, they know the value of an exclusive. Their first-party game will only be on Xbox and PC, and of course, xCloud, right? Microsoft wants to get into the Eastern market, and this is the modern-day Trojan horse.
Man, that dude right there, he was on GRG last night, man. Shout out to my boy Hayden.
Killing it, brother.
Killing it, man. That shit is proper. That's exactly
That
what
is an angle you wouldn't really think of, but yeah, they like
Microsoft. I said this almost a month ago. Microsoft want their tentacles in everything. They want to corner the gaming market, so they will kumbaya with PlayStation if they have to, even though they might feel dirty afterwards. But the fact of it is, PlayStation is not that dumb to do it. And one last other point is that we do keep forgetting about streaming services like Rainway, something that I've talked about months ago, last year, is that you'll be able to play your PC games on Xbox. That service is coming here sometime this year.
Yeah, but that's a third party kind of like
it doesn't matter.
Software thing, man. That's not by the companies themselves.
Hold on, bot. Come on now. Let's not be. We're gonna get a little messy here. I'm not trying to be, but I'm going to get a little messy.
Let's do it.
The biggest thing right here for any Xbox fanboy out here to do is to taunt a PlayStation fan because you got Yakuza's already on PC. I do think Persona is coming. I know where
you're going, bro.
Well, and you use Rainway because Neo is already there, right? And so all I have to do is when that app drops on Xbox is go ahead and hit that and put up my Xbox controller and record me playing any of those
live stream, brother.
Live streaming that off of the Xbox. Do you know what kind of shit that would cause?
But dude, what I'm saying is that that software isn't sponsored by like Microsoft or anything.
It doesn't have to be. You still can play those games on there, man. I've been playing with that service while they've been in the beta. And it works. It's very good. I'm playing Dragon's Quest, and I can't wait. I was over here trying to get it to.
Dude, you sound like you're drooling over this right now.
I can't wait. You know,
wipe your mouth, man. Wipe your mouth.
But regardless, it just shows where gaming is going overall, and that exclusives is only going to be what Pred have said a million times. That 5-6 game lineup, and everything else is going to be free game, pretty much.
Nice. Yo, Predator, what do you think about Cuphead going to Switch, man? Is this something that you think is the sign of the times where down the road you can possibly see like Halo and Gears and games like that going to different platforms? Or do you think it's more like the smaller games, man? What's your opinion here?
I think it'll be the smaller games. And I vaguely remember saying something about this game being a perfect Switch title on Crossfire years ago, or when the game came out. I remember saying that it'd be a perfect game for the shitter. Ironically, it's going that way. But
dude, how many Joy-Cons are going to be broken when that comes out?
Oh man, right, yo.
Red flag. That's all.
So like this and like maybe like Ori, I can see them putting that Gears Pop game on here, and maybe even what's that Halo game that came out? Tactics, yeah. But the Halo game, Halo Wars, something like that. Maybe if they're gonna go that route, like
that Halo like Tactics or oh man, what was it, Spartan something or other? They need to bury those games deep, brother.
If they're gonna put games first party like exclusive, like with the name of exclusive, like Halo, Forza, Gears, it's gonna be something like that. I don't think they're gonna put like our major like Halos on there and Gears and stuff like that on there. Especially if they're single player games, they can. I can see them going that route, but like the big titles, no. As far as Ori, not Ori, but Cuphead going. I mean, it's a good title for that system. To be honest with you, I mean, it's. I think it's not like a graphical powerhouse. It's not like, it's a single player game. It's something you can pick up and play a couple of levels. It's really quick. Well, it's really hard, but it's really quick. If you know what you're doing, and kind of get through something. But and it's a partnership. I know those guys at Studio MDHR, like they work really well with Microsoft. They've kind of delayed the game to kind of add more content. They've worked very well with Microsoft, and so when this was pitched, I was reading an article. They were like, "We don't know what started it. It just kind of happened," and that's good. I know that even with Reggie leaving, Nintendo, I want to see how that partnership grows with this new person they have coming in there, whose name I can't remember. But I want to see if they grow upon this or if they kind of shut it down a little bit. Because these sound like Reggie Dills.
Oh, I remember his last name is Bowser. I remember that.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I thought it was funny. Bowser's taking over at Nintendo.
Doug Bowser, that's his name, Doug Bowser. So I don't know his background and pedigree or anything like that, and how like there's a relationship with Phil Spencer and them together. But I want to see how that goes going forward with Nintendo and how they partner up going forward. Like I'm really interested in seeing the E3 this year. That's one of the things I want to like harp on, like crossplay and working with other companies and how that's going to work out, especially with them coming out on stage last year and kind of holding hands and singing songs and shit. So I'm interested in that dynamic.
And cooking marshmallows together. It was great, man. Great.
Yeah, and like K-Mag was saying, like, you know, and I've thought this too, like, you know, what are we getting out of this as gamers? Like, I get the whole partnership between Nintendo and Microsoft from the business perspective, but as us gamers, you know, we're asking like, yo, can we get something back from them too? Like, give us something back. And I don't see Nintendo doing that.
No, hell no.
I just don't see them saying, oh, you know what, here's a bone for you. We'll throw you, you know, Mario Kart 4, you know, something like that.
Hell
like,
no.
I don't see that happening. Like
anything that says Mario in it, just forget about it.
Yeah, even if it's like, I mean, dude, we've joked about this in years and years and years when Nintendo was like, you know, after the Wii U came out, like, God, it would be great if Microsoft picked them up, or, you know, like they bought the games, like they just went third party and stopped making consoles and made just games as a third party. But like, would it not be awesome to have access to their eShop, you know, to pick up their games, even if it's older titles, like, you know, not necessarily the newer shit, even if it's a year later or 2 years later. Like, I wouldn't mind playing Zelda on fucking in 1080p or 4K on my fucking Xbox. Like, show us something. But I don't think that's gonna happen. Like this, that's, if it does, I'd be completely shocked. But I just don't see it happening. I think, was it Bloody that said that? Like, K-Mega, if he was on your show last night, in your chat last night, the comment that he made, like, they're trying to get into that Eastern market. That's a great move for them.
Bloody said that. Yeah,
that is I mean, like, I didn't think about that, but that is an excellent move for them to do it that way. If that's what their goal is, like, they're getting out of it, that Eastern market, but they're gonna have to come out with something else. I mean, more than just Cuphead. You know, they're gonna have to bring something else to that table, to the Nintendo side, and kind of reaching that market.
Well, but the good thing is, rumor is 2 Oris as well, man.
Yeah, even Ori. Like, I mean, like, and that, again, that's good. It gets
those are some of the tougher games as well. Like, if you think about
it. But those games are going to sell like insane over there. That's that's where Microsoft is smart at, and but look at how, like, all of us except for Knox has kind of adjusted. I mean, no, I'm being serious. Look at how everybody except for Knox has adjusted to this. It seems like a hard pill to swallow, but if we are primary Xbox gamers, why would it matter? If I'm a primary PlayStation gamer, and let's say, I'm trying to think of not of their big core, but let's just say
Resogun.
No. Well, yeah, Resogun, or that one game I like so much. I can't think of the name. It's a little side scroller little game. But anyway, regardless of that, or let's just say, I'm just going to say right off the bat, Infamous Second Son. I know that game is it wouldn't really. I don't think it would.
That game was fun, man.
Yeah, but if the Second Sons went over there to play, I mean, to Nintendo. I mean, would it really be that devastating? Now, I mean, yeah, if it was Bloodborne, I get it. If it was Halo or Forza, I get it. But Ori and the Blind Forest is not a bad. It's not a bad trade-off if Xbox gets something back. Now, if Xbox doesn't get anything back, then I look at this as like, well, damn. Like, I mean, what kind of negotiations did you? I mean, I understand that you're gonna make a lot of money off of this, and it's gonna preserve the game to have sequels, but I mean, we got to get something out of that. Even if you bring another character to the next Killer Instinct or something over there, Link or somebody, I mean, there has to be some kind of trade-off. I mean, I just can't look at Microsoft as being as being a company that, well, I should say Xbox, being a company that just goes in and just say, "Here, I'll give you whatever you want, and you don't give me anything back." I just don't see that.
Well, check this out. Yo, Restored Hades in the chat with the super chat one more time. Thank you, brother. Said Nintendo and Rare can work together again. Please, for the love of God, I need a new Diddy Kong Racer. Hashtag cross-platform. Brother, I know you're hoping. I know you're hoping.
That ain't
we'll
Mario, though. That's Diddy Kong.
No, I feel you. I feel you. And Rare has dealt with Nintendo after they were acquired by Microsoft as well. Like I said, with the Crap Told Me, the Viva Pinata game on the Nintendo DS. So, I mean, possibility right there. And cross-platform would be awesome as well. But guys, well, we have to get the Don's opinion real quick, and then
we don't.
We could wind down the show. So Don, what do you think about Cuphead ported over natively to the Nintendo Switch, brother?
What am I supposed to think about it?
I don't know. It's kind of awkward. Yo, my whole thing is with the rumors where they're talking about Ori and stuff like that. If Ori does go over there, I feel like they missed out on a great mascot for the Xbox.
So the question is, what is Microsoft up to? Is that
yeah, pretty much.
I think it's just about good, like the midterm to the short term. It's about goodwill.
Okay.
Their relationship with the studio, and their relationship with Nintendo. Do they have a game plan? What they're going to be doing in the future? Who the hell knows what that actually is? I think Microsoft would just be happy enough providing their online service, try to get them up to speed, to be honest with you. Get a little bit off of that, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I don't know what Microsoft's end game is in regards to that. I mean, yeah, the dream as a gamer that loves Nintendo's franchises, but not really a big fan of their hardware. Yeah, I would love to play their games on other devices, but we'll see if that happens. I know that their shareholders push that all the time. That's why we saw Mario on the iPhone, and we saw other things like Pokemon. So I mean, a lot of that's driven by that sort of pressure, because they don't think that's really a competing platform, more of a kind of slightly different platform. So we'll see where it goes. I don't know. I mean, I think Nintendo makes good products as far as
they make a great handheld, by the way. It's called the Switch.
Whatever. I don't really care either way. I'm not invested. I don't own the console in that sense. But I mean, it's a system, you play it your way, right? Like that's the whole idea of it. So if that appeals to you and you want to play that platform, I'd say go for it. And I think Microsoft wants that developer to do well, and that strengthens relationships, and other developers look how they get treated in those situations, and they're like, I really want to work with Microsoft. I mean, that's what it really boils down to.
Oh, so you're looking at, see, and that's why I like when you're on the show, because you're looking at it from a developer standpoint, which is a great way to see it from a different angle. Because I believe a lot of people in the chat, they're looking at things as a gamer, which they should be. They're all gamers in there, but
yeah, and that's the type of customer they are. I'm just a different type of customer, right?
Exactly, and you bring that developers kind of like aspect, and to see Microsoft kind of loosening the reins and being like, you know what, because they definitely published, Cuphead, I don't think the game would have come out, any other way. And they'd be like, you know what, you guys deserve it. Here, we're going to go on to another platform. You can make some more money. You can continue to develop games. That's something developers would definitely be like, damn, look at what they're doing over there.
Yeah, it makes me want to work with them, if you think about it, right?
Yeah.
Like, let's say, Switch is not a viable platform for me. But let's say hypothetically there's a Super Switch or a Switch 2 or whatever you want to call it, right?
Super Switch!
That's in the performance profile that I need, so I can, basically downgrade the game to that platform. And let's say Microsoft is my publisher, right? Like, or I'm thinking about Microsoft being my publisher, then I would go, they're easy to work with, and I may be able to put it on other platforms down the road. And that's kind of how I look at them, and that's just goodwill. And Microsoft's been trying to repair that ever since they've tried to get ever since Don Matrick left, I should say. They've been trying to repair that relationship with their developers. And that's the reason why a lot of developers kind of were a little bit bitter at the beginning of this generation. People talk about the DRM, but a lot of developers weren't quite happy with the platform as it was.
No,
and it's because of that relationship and the way leadership was going at the time. And I think they had a hard look at all that sort of stuff and how they approach developers. And some people want them to be a little bit more rigid and a little bit more hard, but at the end of the day, they still have to win over those customers and want them to build games on that platform. The platform that everyone that's invested into that hardware, you want them to do everything they can to get those developers on board, regardless if it's exclusive or not, right? So,
all right, brother. And with that being said, I promised that we would wind down the show after we got Don's opinion in, and I'm really glad we did because, like I said, from a developer standpoint, with looking at what Microsoft as a publisher is doing with Cuphead, you can definitely see where other developers out there would kind of be like, you know what, I want to work with them more. They seem a lot more flexible. It seems like they care about the studios that develop for them. So let's go over there. I can definitely see that. Another great show in the books, guys. Huge shout out to the panel. You guys did absolutely incredible, like you guys do every Saturday. But like a 40-year-old with a comb over, we gotta get those plugs in. Yo. And like my boy Mooch would say, we're gonna start in reverse order. Don, I hope you felt at home again. I hope you sat down in that lazy boy. You felt the familiar bumps and the wear, man. It was great having you on here. Again, to talk games. It felt like old times. Why don't you let people know what you're up to? I know you have a YouTube channel. You said last week you were going to drop videos.
Yep, dropping tomorrow.
Oh, okay, so they're tomorrow now.
No, well, that's this week. Well, as far as I'm concerned.
Oh,
so,
and where they can go to talk games with you, man.
Yeah, the best way to do is follow me on Twitter, which is Don_KTR, and yeah, I'll try to make sure I show up a little bit earlier next month because I haven't been on in a while. The community starts thinking I'm on a soapbox and not one of the guys, and so
don't get your feelings. Don't get your feelings.
Yeah, like so apparently I need to show up more because like Mega's just like, man, you're not one of the guys anymore, so not good stuff. But no, the best thing to do is follow me on Twitter, the Don_KTR. I might be streaming Sea of Thieves tonight if I can get other people to join me. Division may pull from my player pool tonight, so we'll see how that goes. So
maybe it might, brother. It might.
I'm not playing the Division. I don't own that game, so
I'm
gonna play what I got. So
are you trying to say that you would play it if you had it in your library, though?
I'm never gonna let a game gift go to waste. That's for sure. So
all right. So note to people out there that Don would play the Division 2 if it was in his library. Wink, wink. Yeah, like I said, it was great to have you on again. Felt like old times. K Mega got a little rowdy with you though, man. I don't know how you feel
I don't know, man. I gave him 1,700 views on Dev and the Gamer.
Mega, he said that was all him.
I mean, like, I don't know what's going on here.
I know you've been slacking because we had 3,700 the last.
I know I'm slipping. I know I'm
slipping. So I mean,
please give you that.
Anyway,
Mega. Well, why don't we just roll right into your plugs, man? Why don't you let people know where they can get a hold of you? What is going on with your channel? I know you have that awesome Friday night podcast with GRG. Let the people know, man.
Yeah, man. You can come check the GRG podcast every Friday night around 8:30-ish.
I like how he says ish. And then that's K Mega time right there.
No, that's everybody else's time. 8:30-ish p.m. Central. It's pretty much maybe about 30 to 40 minutes after Mooch's show. What is it? No, it's not Crossfire.
Crossfire.
Is it Crossfire? Is it Crossfire?
I'm on that show, brother.
I know you are, but I'm just saying. I get confused. There's so many shows out there now. There's Saltiest, there's Noofs, there's so many other people's shows out there. But anyway, Come check us out. This week's show was absolutely insane because the first topic was talking about the Xbox title for African Americans, which was blacks for Xbox.
Yeah, that was crazy, bro.
It got real intense. It got real intense. And I love the fact that the panel, saying we all have a mind of our own and we speak how we feel. And so I'm saying, I just love the brothers that's on the crew, man. We just do the thing, man. So damn. What Baker doing, man? He's being messy.
That's what I was laughing at.
Republican game. Jesus, collusion free. Anyway, when Mueller light that ass up, man, I can't wait. Anyway, so Blades is a fool. But no, it was a great show. It's good that hey man, I showed that same clip, bot, and I got flagged for what I did to Final Fantasy. And I got flagged by this Japanese group, and so I'm fighting them right now. I'm in huge dispute.
I told you, man. What did you think I was lying to you, brother?
No. I just
trying to make it hard for you in gameplay.
No, I know you're not lying to me. I was showing you because I think that's some cool ass gameplay.
Yeah.
To show Final Fantasy, but so I'm in dispute right now. But I know that it's going extra long. Because
they'll take the whole 30 days, brother.
Oh man, they're taking the whole 30 days because I'm like, look, bro, this is my shit. I own this. This is my gameplay. You got to back off. So, what I'm saying, it is what it is. But man, I appreciate all the support that we get. Also, come and check me out on Twitter at KMega4. What I'm saying, I like to go sometimes. I'm not trying to go crazy with it because there's some people that likes to be a damn fool, but like to have it back and forth sometimes when I post a little something. I'm a humble person. I don't really try to take jabs at my PlayStation brethren.
By saying you're a humble person, that's actually evidence to go against that, man. I'm just saying, throwing it out there.
Yeah, well, I
heard his foot bath going when he said that.
Yeah, I know.
I'm about to get my foot water ready, but I'm finna stream something tonight. I would normally hop on the Republican with Don and Blades, but tonight I just don't feel like doing no Sea of Thieves. I got to do something else. It's got to be either Division or it's got to be Anthem. So
I can play Mario Odyssey, by the way.
Yeah, you could do that. But man, thank you guys for hanging out with us as always.
Lady Mega can't play Mario Odyssey yet.
Stop that shit. Stop that shit. It's on the way. I'm working my ass to the bone. To the bone. I'm about to get it to her next month.
All right, bro. Yo, Knox, man. I know for the last couple of weeks you've had to deal with this whole streaming thing, different games going to different platforms, all that good stuff, dude. You are a true soldier in the sense of the word, man. Coming out, still sharing your opinions, still getting hyped up and energized for each and every show. I know everybody out there in the chat appreciates it, man. Why don't you let them know where they can get a hold of you to talk games and what is going on with your channel, man?
Yeah, man. I may be putting something out tomorrow on the Knox We Trust right here on YouTube. Anybody can always follow me at Dean Knox on Twitter. Knoxximus one on PSN and Xbox Live, man. Right here on the next, bro, on Saturdays. You already, kid.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. And brother, like I said, we are here with you through this this time of transition. I just want to let you know that.
As long as they keep my console of choice relevant, man, that's all.
I got you, bro. I got you. Yo, Predator, next on the list, man. Why don't you let people know what is going on with you? Are you doing any guest appearances coming up this week, and where can people go to talk games with you?
Predator_H2OS, pretty much on everything. Twitter, Xbox, PlayStation, MySpace, and I don't have any podcasts that I know of coming up this week. I was on Four Guys with Quarters Wednesday, and on Xbox Nation on I think Wednesday too. So been busy this week, but I'm gonna take a little break, and I will see you guys next week, and I will see you guys in DC on the Division.
Oh,
whoa! Yeah. Hey, Blades just said that the Don owns Division 2, by the way, so he must have got hooked up.
I don't know what you're talking about.
Looks like the Don is going to be taking back Washington D.C. People.
Speaking of mooching, I will happily mooch a copy of Shadows Die Twice, even though I will probably die 1,000 times.
Me too. I will definitely. Yeah. So I'm komooching and Pred is Pred mooching. So so if y'all got some love for some brothers out here, man, go ahead and let us have it. Or we're gonna just think y'all is just like to just support the white boys. Anyway.
I don't know when you've seen that on me.
No, but hold on. I do got one more thing to say before we get out of here. My boy Bloody Knuckles, Baby Bot, he's going to be doing a podcast right after this. I forgot. He wants me to come over to talk about comic book stuff. So I'm going to be talking about
about comic book stuff, man.
I'm glad you reminded me of that.
Bruh, I do know about comic book stuff, man. Anyway, but we're going to be talking about the Captain Marvel and what we thought about it, everything. So it's going to be really cool. We're going to have Fonzarelli there. It's going to be Lord Cognito. It's going to be
Captain Marvel's a man.
Captain Marvel is dope, man. I love it. My lady loved it. She loved it so much. But anyway, so yeah, don't forget to check that out if you guys and ladies out there are into comic book stuff, because Knuckles and my boy Triple Cup Chuck, they're really deep into that. So check out their channel, support them.
Nice. And on that note, guys, I just want to give a huge shout out to everybody that hung out with us tonight on the next podcast. It was great to see everybody. The chat was absolute fire. You guys had me cracking up. You had me looking into things and stuff like that. I love when the chat is as interactive as it was tonight. You guys are another part of the panel. As you can see, we did a couple things. Any of the super chats, anytime somebody subscribes while the show is going on, you can see it in the bottom right-hand corner. Your name will be immortalized on that episode. So I think that was a pretty cool idea. But it is Saturday night. The Gamer's Got a Game. If you haven't done it yet, definitely subscribe to this channel. Definitely hit that thumbs up button. And I'm going to end the show the way I do every Saturday. We will see you next Saturday for the next podcast. Have a great weekend, everybody.
Penis demon.
Oh, damn.
Like a bread needs Shadows Die Twice.
Damn. And we're out.